that Europe wanted to start pumping weaponry into Ukraine. How is that have been solved? Because they trusted Trump at some point. We shouldn't be talking about reviewing Tomahawk now. At this point, it's like Tomahawk should have been deployed. Because Russia has not stopped bombarding Ukraine. Ukraine is fighting back to control, but you need some higher power. So it shows that there's going to be a stalemate. They'll keep bombarding each other. The humanitarian cost will continue. And don't believe the lies of J.D. Vance when he says the deal they did in Gaza really worked. It didn't work. It's still been killing. What Israel is doing now is they kill and they go back and say we're still maintaining the peace agreement. Just for 2 Israeli soldiers that was attacked, 26 people killed in Gaza the other day. And they will only continue that killing. And it's also happening not only in Gaza, but in West Bank, where Palestinian people are there. And that's why we keep talking about the genocide that is happening. As regards Sarkozy, definitely will get it at some point, but it's symbolic that the French president has gone in there. But I think the real victory should go to Mediapart. The French independent investigative journalism outfit that stood tall, reported the story, and stood by their story over the years and forced the system to be able to do something. And it really shows that good journalism does work.
Absolutely right. Good journalism, good governance does work. And talking about governance and oversight, let me go to a headline, a story just at the bottom of the New Telegraph. You could miss it, but I think it's important. As I talked about earlier, it says reps give federal government 2 weeks to provide detailed financial intervention to states outside, a detailed report on financial interventions to states outside tax. I bring this story up because earlier on I talked about how, following the APC Stakeholders Forum, and the money's already been, talked about 20 million to, local government with the highest number of registered voters, wards will get 10 million for the same. That what we're seeing is that in the next election, it's going to be heavily monetized. And when we talk about monetized, we'll also begin to see spurious projects around this period. And that's why we must take a close look at money that are being disbursed that comes outside FAC allocations. So what the reps have said is they're going to invest things like ecological funds, budget support facilities, infrastructure funds, emergency relief grants given to some states. It is important that we're able to track which states this money went to, what the money was spent, how the money was spent, and if it was used for what it was said to do. Because sometimes you just distribute this money and nothing to show for it. Only earlier this week, the Vice President had said that over 39,000 MSMEs had benefited from 2.5 billion naira grants. Who are these MSMEs? We announced it, there are lots of announcements around these things, but we can't really seem to see the tangible effect of these monies being distributed. So it's our collective work. Let us investigate, and I hope it's not just a headline. I hope the reps will actually perform their duty of oversight and ensure that every penny or even every kobo is accounted for. Now, going on to Japan, congratulations to the first female prime minister. One of the things, by the way, she was once a newscaster, briefly. So we buy. I've been telling it could be our turn very soon. Now, look up. It's a newscaster. So, but very importantly is the fact that people have talked about how she's very staunchly for Abenomics, beyond her support of Margaret Thatcher. And Japan currently faces economic issues around high inflation and rising costs. We call that Abenomics, 3 arrows, aggressive monetary easing. The second one, I think, was flexible fiscal policies and also structural reforms. It didn't address inflation at the time. The target was 2%. They never hit that target. So I'm not sure how she wants to do it differently and if she will be able to succeed following a model that quite failed in the same issues or the same issues that she seeks to address. But congratulations to her. We're really excited about that. Not only is she female, but she was once a newscaster. I identify with that.
Well, she certainly hit the ground running, that's for sure. She's already made some cabinet appointments, immediately after her swearing in. And one of those is Kimi Onoda. Now, Kimi Onoda is going to be the Minister of Foreigner Policy, not foreign policy, foreigner policy. And of course, this speaks right into the narrative that we already know is unfortunately gaining momentum in Japan. Anti-immigration sentiment, this commitment to far rightism, purism where culture is concerned and so forth. And Kimi Onoda's agenda is to, by all means necessary, clamp down on all illegal immigration, mass deportations, you name it. That's what's coming up for Japan. But it's quite interesting to know that she's actually American-born. Kimi Onoda herself, her father's Caucasian, her mother is Japanese. So she's not a pure Japanese citizen, if we may, if such a thing exists in this global world that we live in now. But it would be interesting to see how she tackles these issues. Nicolas Sarkozy, as far as I'm concerned, I think that is just a slap on the wrist, to be honest with you. Because if you look at the role that Nicolas Sarkozy played in destabilizing the entire Sahel through spearheading the fall of Gaddafi and what happened to Libya, all this Gaddafi gave him money for his election, and it's a scratch on the surface compared to the consequences we're still suffering currently across the Sahel due to the way Libya fell and the fact that Libya has still not recovered from what happened to that country. So going to a luxury prison, as far as I'm concerned, is almost just like he's going on a sabbatical. He'll probably write a book and come out as more of a celebrity than anything else. So I'm a little bit disappointed. I wanted to see something more harsh towards Nicolas Sarkozy. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, brilliant to Kirikiri. We're most hospitable to his likes over here. Now, as I round up in Nigeria, I think it was Vanguard that focused on the arraignment of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer and his brother and so forth. Now, when I read the FIR report, what caught my attention is that besides inciting public, it was inciting public disorder and so forth. They also indicted him for chanting war songs. Now, this was a point of concern to me because I'm seeing too many parallels that are getting concerning. If you look at what happened in South Africa, the first accusation that the United States made to South Africa was the accusation of genocide, which was not true. Then the next accusation was that they brought forward Julius Malema. If you remember, one of the issues with Julius Malema is that he chants war songs. Now, we're seeing that there are accusations of genocide coming towards Nigeria. We're now seeing that there's some sort of witch hunt towards people who are chanting war songs. It might just be an unfortunate coincidence, but I think we need to be careful with that. As much as I have a leaning to a preference towards Donald Trump as an American president, I'm a Pan-Africanist first and foremost. So we need to be careful about some of these agendas that may be internationally driven and the impact that they have on our local governments. Thank you.
All right.
All right, should we? Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that, Lady in Blue. We're going to take a short break now. When we return, we'll have Rota Sajiri to give us updates on global business activities. Please stay with us.
Good morning, talking about rural and local.
Starting and growing a business can be tough,
That did.
especially with insufficient funds.
This business is becoming too expensive. My children need to start feeding me.
And more, these figures are small.
At Access Bank, we love SMEs, from business loans to flexible cost savings account. We've got the solutions to help your business thrive. With our Diamond Business Advantage account, you can easily access financial support, business tools for growth, business loans, and opportunities to meet and interact with other business owners. Dream big and elevate your business to the next level. To learn more, visit www.accessbankplc.com/business/SME-banking or walk into any of our branches to get started.
Mealtime is game on. Meet my SureBet Game Changer, made from natural ingredients to deliver game-changing chicken aroma and taste for my whole team. Upgrade your chicken game with game-changing chicken flavor from Maggi Chicken.
Good place.
Progress will be happen just like that. It comes from support when you need that.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point to
Money points, thank you.
customer. Na transfer, Abi. Confirm.
Bro, transfer.
Now only point to that. Oh, that confirm. Progress my peace of mind when you know say payment will land at your banker. Progress na small way when the carry person go far.
No worries, I go make am. No go buy go.
They use money point.
Of course, man, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point, made for your progress.
Compliance professionals, don't miss Africa's premier compliance event. Afrexim Bank, in partnership with the National Bank of Rwanda and Rwanda Bankers Association, presents the Compliance Forum 2025, taking place this coming 12th to 14th November in Kigali, Rwanda. Registration is now open. Join your contemporaries to deliberate on the theme, Embracing AI to Promote and Secure Trade through a Modern AML, CFT, and CPF Compliance Framework. Explore how AI is changing compliance and impacting on trade. Discover how AI can improve how you assess risks, detect fraud, combat money laundering, and terrorist financing. And get up close to the latest AI augmented compliance monitoring systems. To reserve your place, register now at acf2025.com.
Your skin is your wealth and perception is reality. Upgrade to affordable luxury brands from the La Roche-Posay range and the CeraVe range. Download the Conga app and shop on conga.com, MedPlus, Bido Pharmacy, Net Pharmacy, and Alpha Pharmacy. Conga Health, a subsidiary of Conga Group, is the exclusive distributor of L'Oreal Dermatological Beauty, world's #1 dermatological beauty brand. Your skin is your wealth and perception is reality. Upgrade to affordable luxury brands from the La Roche-Posay range and the CeraVe range. Download the Conga app and shop on conga.com, MedPlus, Bido Pharmacy, Net Pharmacy, and Alpha Pharmacy. Conga Health, a subsidiary of Conga Group, is the exclusive distributor of L'Oreal Dermatological Beauty, world's #1 dermatological beauty brand.
Welcome to AFIS, the Africa's largest financial industry event. Real connections, actionable ideas, impactful deals. A decisive event, driving Africa's financial industry forward. In 2025, AFIS is back in Casablanca, Morocco, a true financial hub at the crossroads of Africa. Register now and take part in the most transformative event in African finance.
All you need to ask yourself is that where is everybody's money going?
It's important for you to find people that connect with you where you are now, but also complement your weaknesses.
Make sure that what you have can test anybody, anywhere. What inspired me to start my business, Conga?
Banking prepared me for that. Showing up, waking up early, being dedicated.
The power is in us as people. We are the new oil.
The new media, don't be afraid of
What
it.
makes you stand out with differentiation?
This is going to be my footprint. I'm not going to be in any box.
straight to my friend and my brother, Rutu Sadu.
Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Good morning. Good morning, sister. Good morning to all our
Friend, brother, sister.
We begin with commodities. Gold saw its biggest drop in about 5 years yesterday, falling from 4,375 to 4,114. The rally has been incredible. I think since gold is up by just 30% alone since like August. So at some point, you know, it's got to cool down. If we go back, let's just go back to the drop. With silver, we don't talk about silver. Silver has also been on the tear as well. It fell 7% yesterday, but there's the India's markets. We'll get to the Asian markets in a moment. We've had a lot of buying coming from India. There's been some of this being attributed to, profit taking one. When you've had an asset continue to climb and climb and climb and climb, at some point people want to take profits, so they will sell off to earn their profits. But also, they said maybe the Diwali celebrations. There was even a Diwali celebration in the White House yesterday, and with a lot of Indians buying gold. I mean, they are a big market for gold. They said maybe that holiday impacted that. There's also the fact that we've seen a bit of appreciation in stocks as well. So it's a mixed bag in terms of what happened. But that's what led to those are some of the reasons being attributed to the big fall that we've seen in gold. But it's rebounded a bit this morning, so 4,135 up about 22 basis points. But again, this is pretty historic stuff where we are at right now with gold. Asian markets, as I mentioned, India is still on holiday with respect to that Diwali celebration. But you've seen Shanghai Composite Index down. President Trump, as I mentioned, and he said there's still a possibility of China getting 100%, or I think he said 150% tariffs by November the 1st if a deal is not made. He's trying to force China to buy soybeans from the United States, despite saying that the U.S. is bringing in billions and billions and billions of revenue from tariffs. The Hang Seng also taking a breather over in Hong Kong. The Nikkei, I heard you all talking about the new Prime Minister and her views. So we've seen, I know she's been putting some pressure on the Bank of Japan, although she's kind of, walked those comments back a bit. But it seems like she doesn't want to see rate hikes. She also wants to give tax reprieve to a number of folks in Japan. So, that of course is going to impact government revenues. So we'll have to see how things. Just named her cabinet. I know we have the first female finance minister now in Japan or so. So the markets are 49,307. I mean, it has done pretty well so far this year, but taking a bit of a breather. This is the best performing index in Asia, up it's now about 62, almost 63% year to date. The Kospi in Korea, again, we talked about this yesterday. SK Hynix, Samsung have been behind that rally. Australia, we had that big deal that was signed between the US and Australia yesterday. We've seen a few stocks taking a bit of it, backing up a little bit. So there's a mix of profit taking in Asia and then geopolitical headwinds here and there. We previewed this yesterday, the earnings to expect. We talked about General Motors, Netflix. General Motors stock, this was their best performance in about 6 years, rising almost 15%. The company basically said that the initial hits they were expecting from tariffs, they kind of tempered that down a bit. They're still expecting a hit of, about, I think they said about 2 to 3 billion or so, but they brought it down maybe 1.5 to 2. They're still seeing how things are going there. And then also they've raised prices, and then the EV hits. There's no more than a $7,500 tax credit. Trump has done away with that. So in the near term, they're seeing less demand for electric vehicles, but they're still trying to compete with the Chinas of the world. And in fact, actually, it's an opportunity for me to share this vehicle that we rented while we were in Washington, D.C. Yeah. This is a Chevrolet Equinox. Chevrolet is under the General Motors brand. It retails for about $35,000, and you can see how it's competing with Chinese brands at about $20,000 to $25,000. But this was a wonderful drive, and we drove all the way from Dulles Airport in Virginia all the way to downtown Washington. An hour. It was 80% charged when we took it, about 50% when we returned it. Great drive, and the safety features are really incredible. I will admit on national TV that I was in traffic, I was texting, but I was in traffic and moving slowly. This thing slammed on the brakes as I got a little bit closer to the vehicle in front of me. The safety features are really good, but again, unit labor costs in America are much higher than they are in China. They're really focusing heavily on safety. These are the things that they have to compete with, and why the Chinese folks, as Rufai has talked about the subsidies and so on, why they keep eating into market share. But General Motors, they make some pretty good cars. Let's talk streaming now. Netflix also releasing their earnings. The stock fell about 6.4% in after-hours trading. Here's one thing. Netflix operating profits fell. I think it was about $1.3 billion. The markets are expecting, I think, 1.5 or a little bit higher. They've had to pay the Brazilian government, I think, about $600 and something million. Brazil is looking for money. Maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow. They are trying to tax everybody. They've introduced this new wealth tax where they are targeting the wealthiest Brazilians. I think it's about a 5 or 6% tax. Brazil has a fiscal hole that they need to fill. So Netflix is going to have to pay this $600 million over the next 6 years or so. So looking at about 100 million. So that's okay. The market didn't like that. Also, they're facing more competition from Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and so they have to spend a lot more money on content. We're talking about a particular show before we came on air that's been pretty successful. So there's that. And then OpenAI. OpenAI is taking aim at investment banking. There's something they're calling, Bloomberg is reporting, called Project Mercury. They've assembled about I say assembled like the Avengers. They've got to put together about 100 ex-bankers from Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, and they're asking these bankers to feed financial models into their LLMs, their large language models. What they want to do, they want to train the models to be able to do what a junior investment banker does. What do investment banks do? Investment banks facilitate transactions. If you're a company that wants to buy another company, or you want to sell yourself and put yourself on the market, or you want to IP your initial public offering, investment banks do the due diligence. They build financial models, your balance sheets, your income statement, your cash flow statement, and those models are what OpenAI is having these bankers build and feed into the model. They are paying them $150 an hour. I had to do the math in Naira just for us. The Naira, by the way, has been appreciating. So the Naira appreciated to 1,463 yesterday. And if you multiply it by 150 an hour, that is 219,000 Naira, not per month, per hour. I mean, that it tells you, and if you look at the back end, OpenAI is not profitable. I think they lost about $50 billion last year. They've been pumping so much money into training these models, the GPUs, the chips needed for the AI to be able to understand how to do these things. They are spending a lot of money. They're not getting the return yet. But then this is just an example of what it takes to actually build this model. But look, they're going to get there at some point. And so what that now means is an investment bank doesn't have to hire an analyst to build a financial model. It's sad for the world. Well, it's sad, but then that banker, you have to find another job. So we have to be re-skilled, going forward. And the people I fear for are our kids today, and those who are growing up and having to get through school with AI and so on. Finally, I mentioned Nigeria. You saw where the Naira is at 1,463. The NGX was up about 1% yesterday. BOA Foods up 6.7%. Consolidated Hallmark Insurance up almost 7%. The Nigerian stocks keep on climbing. We're now up 47.1% so far this year. And that's where we are for our business update today.
But I'd like to ask you, the Chevy electric car you're saying, why is it that the Chevy Volt, the person that designed it was a Nigerian? That when he was called to come and run the automotive sector in Nigeria,
it didn't work out.
That's a short brief. Talking to Edekashi Web, but you want to share Southeast Constitutional Review Committee stay with us.
Nigerians, your dream of owning a home is closer than ever. The federal government, through the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, has launched the Ministry of Finance Incorporated Real Estate Investment Fund, MRIF, designed to make homeownership a reality for everyday Nigerians. With Amref, you can secure mortgage at a fixed rate of 9.75% per annum, repayable over up to 20 years. Even better, you only need to contribute 10% of the property value as your deposit. That means the house you've always wanted could be yours sooner than you think. This opportunity is open to all Nigerians at home and abroad, and to developers building quality housing. Don't wait. Visit www.mreif.com.ng today to sign up or walk into any of the participating banks. Amref, your path to home ownership. This fund is managed by ARM Investment Managers.
From now to December 31st, 2025, you could be one of the 565 lucky winners in the Keystone Mega Milli giveaway. Simply carry out 10 transactions or more on any Keystone Bank channel for weekly cash wins, or save 10,000 naira or more for a month to qualify for the mega draw where millionaires are made. No account yet? Download the Key mobile app from your app store and open one today for your share of millions. T's and C's apply. Keystone Bank, we grow together.
With Global, you've got the city at your fingertips. Hanging out with friends and craving fried chicken or smoky jollof with fried plantain? Order on Global and receive it in minutes. Running low on toiletries? Don't panic, Global's got you. Order on Global and receive it in minutes. Family time deserves quality food, so treat them to a sweet supply. Yummy. Track the rider in real time as your order makes its way to you. Download Global, order anything you want and receive it in minutes.
Compliance professionals, don't miss Africa's premier compliance event. Afrexim Bank, in partnership with the National Bank of Rwanda and Rwanda Bankers Association, presents the Compliance Forum 2025, this 12th to 14th November in Kigali, Rwanda. Registration is now open. Exploring the theme, embracing AI to promote and secure trade through a modern AML, CFT, and CPF compliance framework. To reserve your place, register now at acf2025.com.
My name is Austin Azoko Kocha, but you all call me JJ. That's because I was so unstoppable, they named me twice. During my days as a professional footballer, I played as an attacking midfielder. No one could stop me, not even malaria, when mosquito bites. Now you too can be unstoppable if you use Lonart against malaria.
Lonart, a combination of Artemether and lumefantrine. Lonart, be unstoppable.
Why do Nigerians succeed at everything they do?
It's the 65th independence of our beloved country. 65 years of trials and triumphs, of hope carried in the hearts of millions. Nigeria stands tall, united, and unbroken. Today, Access is making history by creating the first ever human Nigerian map.
A friend of mine once told me that if you go to any part of the world and you do not find a Nigeria, leave that place, because there is nothing to do there.
Just like the Access Warrior slogan, as a nation we remain unbound, unbent, and unbroken.
Powered by innovation, Unicell continues to set the standard. From world-class specialty chemicals to cutting-edge oil and gas production solutions that keep the crude flowing, empower engineering engineering services lighting up industries. Unicel is at the heart of progress. Unicel delivers world-class solutions that keep industries running and economies growing. Unicel, we have energy.
Hello, Nigerians. Your dream of owning a home is closer than ever. The federal government, through the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, has launched the Ministry of Finance Incorporated Real Estate Investment Fund, AMRIF, designed to make homeownership a reality for everyday Nigerians. With AMRIF, you can secure mortgage at a fixed rate of 9.75% per annum, repayable over up to 20 years. Even better, you only need to contribute 10% of the property value as your deposit. That means the house you've always wanted could be yours sooner than you think. This opportunity is open to all Nigerians at home and abroad, and to developers building quality housing. Don't wait. Visit www.mreif.com.ng today to sign up or walk into any of the participating banks. AMRIF, your path to home ownership. This fund is managed by ARM Investment Managers.
Welcome back to the Morning Show right on the Rising channel. Legal luminary and former president of Nigerian Bar Association, Wole Olanipekun, was advised National Assembly to hold further action on the amendment of 1999 Constitution and prepare the nation for a new acceptable constitution. Olanipekun traced the foundation of the 1999 Constitution in the country, noted that the government will find it difficult to achieve greatness and development unless there is a new generally accepted document for the country. The legal eye concerned that the current constitution has outlived its usefulness and the legitimacy describing it as a mere document that tells lies against itself and has failed to represent the core ideals and diversity and aspiration of Nigerian federal units. Olanipekun recalled that since the 1999 Constitution was midwife under the Salami and local military became operational, we have been part of this advocating for a people-oriented constitution that will emerge from the public participation and referendum. So joining us now on the show to discuss calls to halt the ongoing constitution of the process of the 1999 Constitutional Amendment is Senator Oyeka Chiwonwa, Vice Chairman, Southeast Constitutional Review Committee. He also shares thoughts on EFCC's milestone at 2 and the National Assembly's success in subsidized function and provision of infrastructure. Great to have you. So Olanipekun is saying, ditch the Constitution rather than going on these laborious amendments. What say you?
Well, thank you very much, my good friend Rufai, for this opportunity to clear the coast on what the Senate is doing regarding the amendment of the 1999 Constitution. Well, with due respect to my learned senior, learned state, Wole Olanipekun, his submission is very clear, and he's not the only person that is taking that position in this exercise. But you will agree with me that if you look at the provisions of Section 9 of the Constitution, you will agree with me that the National Assembly is just taking the steps which we're supposed to take regarding the amendment of the state constitution. But I must say that the whole exercise is on the people. If people of Nigeria want the whole constitution changed, they should do that through the public hearing, which we've done and which we are still going to do. So it is all encompassing. It is not the exercise left for the National Assembly alone or the Senate alone. It is all encompassing. If the majority of Nigerians want us to drop the entire constitution from section 1 to the last section, so will it be, because the constitution is for the Nigerian people. It's not for the parliament alone. It's not for the executive. Neither is it for the judiciary. It is for Nigerian people. And what Nigerian people want is what we are going to do as will be manifested through bills and, of course, the public hearing which we have been doing. So he is not the only person taking that stand. Many Nigerians have argued that we should drop the 1999 Constitution completely, being the product of the military, and that we should come to a round table as Nigerians to create a constitution that will guide us, taking into account our differences in so many dimensions. But however, like I said, it's left for Nigerian people, but for us as Parliament, we are ready to go by the wish of Nigerians.
Well, that's very good. Thank you so much. Well, whilst we're talking about the Constitution as a whole, I think there are also certain provisions that we need to also look at yesterday for a case in point. And kudos to the Senate for their stance on minors being defiled and, and proposing a life sentence for agitators. But there's still the conversation around the Child Rights Act that's not been domesticated in many states in Nigeria. What are the efforts being made by the senators to ensure that they're able to get the State House of Assembly to comply so that we can truly protect the children and achieve, make this, get the maximum benefit of this particular law? Then in addition to that, I'd like you to talk about the EFCC. The Senate President was full of praises for the EFCC and the EFCC chairman, even saying that he was the right fit for that position. And a number of people, Nigerians are in the best position to determine and also make their own judgment. But around the convictions, petitions, some people say that the EFCC is still not going after politically exposed people. There are cases that have been left, in limbo. For instance, the Yahaya Bello case. We have cases of some prominent politicians that have not yet been fully prosecuted. What do you have to say about this?
Well, let me start with the commendation of the EFCC. It was a motion moved by the Senate Committee Chairman on Anti-Graft Agency, Senator Udende, that brought about the commendation of the EFCC chairman and the agency as a whole. And I was among the senators who stood up to commend the EFCC chairman and the agency as a whole, because you agree with me that the EFCC, within the period of review, have actually done well, if we must say things the way they are. You remember that before now, EFCC was doing more of media trial without achieving much results. But you can see within this 2 years plus, EFCC has secured a lot of convictions, showing that they are working. And I believe that if they continue in this way, then very soon corruption will be completely eradicated in our public system.
You haven't answered my question, Senator. Remember, you haven't answered my question around high-profile cases in particular, because you've just echoed the praise. And I'm not saying the FCC hasn't worked.
I'm coming to that.
Oh, thank you.
I'm coming to that. So having said so, on the high-profile cases involving some politicians, one thing we should know is that we shouldn't believe everything we see on social media. You see, law is a game governed by rules and facts. So if somebody brings up a petition that so politician have embezzled social amount, it is left for the EFCC or any other agency doing the investigation to investigate, to know whether that allegation is true or not. It's only when a prima facie case is established before a person that person can be said to be prosecuted. So EFCC is doing a good job. We are not dictating for them. They are a bit independent in their investigation. So I believe that at the right time, they will brief Nigerians on the findings they have come up with in some of the high-profile cases. And just like we mentioned there, most of these high-profile cases that have no prima facie case against such individuals should be made public, so Nigerians will not see all politicians as thieves, because not all politicians are thieves. We still have good leaders who are out, to set things right for the development of this country. And I believe that with time, Nigerians will begin to differentiate between rumor mongering and so the position of
that zone. Well,
Senator Webway. All right, Senator Webway will try to reconnect to you very shortly. However, we'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we continue our conversation around constitutional amendments as well as the appraisal of EFCC chairman in 2 years by the Senate. Stay tuned. This is Arise. We'll be back. It's still the morning show here on the Rise News, and we're back with Senator Onyekachi Uweboye, Vice Chairman, Southeast Constitution Review Committee. And just before we went on that very brief break, he was talking about his appraisal, or at least coming forward from the Senate commendation of the EFCC Chairman's 10th time in office, 2 years anniversary, and also some of the high-profile cases that Nigerians have perhaps criticized that the EFCC has moved the real shine away from in recent times. Senator Webboy, great to have you back. Please continue with your train of thought.
Thank you so much. Let me correct an impression. I'm the chairman, Southeast Committee on Constitution Amendment, not vice chairman. And also the deputy spokesperson of the Nigerian Senate. So it's good to keep this record straight. All right. So that Nigerians will know who is talking to them.
Excellent.
So, like I said earlier, are you with me?
We are with you, sir. Please go ahead.
I said earlier, and maybe you didn't get me right, I want to repeat myself, that the high-profile cases you are talking about is within the powers of EFCC to investigate. And I said before that if there is a prima facie case established against a person, that is when the person will be prosecuted. So it's not enough that an allegation is made against a politician and you conclude that that is true. So most of these cases you heard about the petition and was not prosecuted. It means that EFCC, after investigation, did not see any good ground, to prosecute such a person. That is why such people are not in court. And not that EFCC has compromised. No, we are following them by oversight means, and we are monitoring what they are doing. And before we could come up openly at the plenary to commend this agency, it means that we are talking with facts and we are convinced that EFCC, under the current leadership, is doing well. And I must also again commend the President and Commander-in-Chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because for the hand or the leg to do well, it means that the head is in order. So it is as a result of the support and the conducive environment given to EFCC that made them to have achieved this success so far. You can see 4,000 convictions within a couple of 2 to 3 years. It's unprecedented, and recovering over 500 billion within 2 years is also unprecedented. And as Nigerians, please, let's call a spade a spade. If somebody has done well, if a leader has done well, let's commend him so that we'll be encouraged to do more. Because in most cases in Nigeria, in Africa generally, we try to condemn everything. That is not true. In as much as we hold our leaders accountable, we expect our leaders to live up to expectations, but those who have done well should be commended, so that others will know that if you do well, you will be commended. So we want to appreciate Mr. President for the support he's given to all these anti-graft agencies, because for us to make the desired progress we need in this country, we must eradicate corruption completely, from the system. So that is the position.
All right. Well, some might argue that being able to rate how well the EFCC is performing is based on those high-profile convictions, which is why it continues to be a talking point. But, of course, all other progress is noted. I want to turn my attention to the NAS's role in oversight, especially where it concerns infrastructure projects, because, of course, it's no longer news that there are delays with funding, and there are some newspapers that are going as far as saying that there are now several abandoned projects across the country because of the shortfall in funding being released, for the various projects that need to be executed, to the contractors that need to do this work. I'd love to know how the National Assembly is managing this gap. A 2024 budget, which is only 80% at implementation and performance, 2025 budget, an extended budget as well, and the infrastructure oversight role that you have surely must be quite a daunting task given these parameters. How are you navigating these choppy waters?
Well, thank you for this question. Because I have a lot to tell you in this sector, because the government of the day under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have actually done well in the area of infrastructure development, knowing fully well that most of our roads were in a very terrible shape before now, but President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, being a man I've always described as a man with understanding as to how things work, realize that infrastructure is very cardinal for economic development as a nation. And that is why Mr. President charged the Minister of Works to commence rehabilitation of the existing roads, particularly the major roads, connecting the geopolitical zones. And outside that, Mr. President have also decided to enlarge our commercial scope by constructing new alternative routes, to build economic activities in Nigeria. For example, you can see the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road, which have been attacked by so many. But I want Nigerians to know that this is the first time the federal government is embarking on such, big, impactful, significant, and self-sustaining, even revenue-driving projects. Why do I say so? You see, when people are not informed, they will be talking the other side of the story. The coastal road is an investment. It's not just an infrastructural provision. It's an investment. Remember, when this road is completed, this road is going to be tolled. This road has capacity of paying back the cost, of its construction. So it's a very wonderful initiative, and I believe by now, Nigerians having seen the
yes, as we wrap up, a lot of people are saying a lot of infrastructure has not been done. Somebody just sent me a message about Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, and people are also complaining about the infrastructure. In fact, the Minister of Health said only 15% of his capital budget was met. Many things are left undone. And there are many roads, many sectors across the country as regards infrastructure. So I don't understand. Just answer that in less than 30 seconds, then as we wrap up, because we need to go now. We need to go. Just 30 seconds. Your word, please.
Well, as I'm talking to you, the Enugu, as I'm talking to you, the Enugu-Onitsha highway you mentioned is on course. The Enugu-Aba-Port Harcourt road, one lane is completed. The Enugu 9th mile Macaulay road is under construction. So I don't know where you are getting your information, but generally, I can tell you that as Senate, being a member of the Senate Committee on Works, I've had the privilege of touring so many roads under construction with the Honorable Minister of Works. And I must tell you, before the first phase of this administration, you, Rafa, will have every reason to believe that Tinubu is doing well. On the performance index on budget generally, I have no authority to talk about that. I believe that the relevant government agency, will talk about that on the performance index of the government vis-a-vis the last budget. But of the truth, we are funding our budget We are making progress as a nation, and we're expecting the next budget.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And that's why we're running 3 concurrent budget cycles as we speak.
All right.
Thank you.
On that note,
I'm not aware of that.
all right, it is in the public space. You might want to familiarize yourself with that. Unfortunately, however, our time is up today. Senator, thank you for your time. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we shall be speaking to Majid Dairu, a political analyst. Do stay with us.
Natural sun-ripened yellow corn, individually cornflaked to preserve its natural goodness. That's what makes Nasco cornflakes truly whole flakes. Enjoy the tasty, crunchy, and nutritious Nasco cornflakes. Mealtime is game on. Meet my SureBet Game Changer, made from natural ingredients to deliver game-changing chicken aroma and taste for my whole team. Upgrade your chicken game with game-changing chicken flavor from Maggi Chicken.
Guy, with the rising cost of things, we need to plan our next move. Guy, I agree with you. I mean, with the money we make, we should not be struggling with our finances now.
Maybe you both need better banking options.
What do you know about better banking options?
I recently moved my salary account to Polaris Bank, and since then, it's been a smooth ride for me. They bought over my existing loan and gave me better interest rates and repayment terms.
Are you serious?
Yes, as a Polaris salary account holder, I can get personal term loan, auto loan, mortgage, 50% salary advance, credit card, and more without going to the bank.
Really?
I've got a personal term loan already. See, here's my credit card too.
How do I make the move?
Simple. Open a Polaris salary account on Vault. Use salary account as your referral code.
My guy, I am moving my salary account now.
Get personal term loan and more with your Polaris salary account. Vault is available on Google Play Store and Apple App Store.
It's the Indomie Eat and Win promo. The more you eat, the more you win. How to win? Buy the Indomie Eat and Win promo pack. Find the promo code inside. Visit indomie.ng/eat and win. Enter your promo code and start earning points fast for a chance to win exciting gifts and $1 million cash every week for a lucky winner. So hurry now, eat and win. Let the winning begin. Visit indomie.ng/eat and win for more details. Terms and conditions apply.
Solar energy has improved the lives of Nigerians in the sense that we can have a cleaner environment and thereby preserving the earth for future generations. Our mission is to ensure we develop and deliver locally accessible, contemporary, and innovative solutions in partnership with global organizations to ensure that we become the first and the trusted choice for Nigerians. So the option of having a solar solution at just 30% equity already ensures that you have money back in your pocket, because then you can then pay on a monthly basis over a period of time, which if you compare with the fact that you're also paying grid is actually more affordable over a period of time. Then you can have your access to power under your control at every point in time for up to 10 years.
Coming soon to over 500 million smartphone users and 1.5 billion voices. Leke, the social platform for the world, out of Africa. By the founders of Arise and Biscay Media Group, we're going to be launching with a big bang. A new homegrown social platform born in Africa and built for the world, blending community, culture, and cutting-edge AI. It's fast, culturally rooted, data-friendly, and designed to scale globally. A digital platform for youth, creators, and business. A one-stop shop to connect, share, create, and earn. It's time to end social media imperialism. This is Leke, a voice for all.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. A pro-Tinubu support group within the All Progressives Congress, Renewable Advocates of Nigeria, has warned the national chairman of the party, Professor Yewande Nentawe, not to allow his personal hatred for Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State to endanger President Bola Tinubu's 2027 re-election prospects. All Progressives Congress leaders in Plateau State at the weekend rejected any speculation or potential move by Governor Caleb Mutfwang to join their party from the People's Democratic Party. Announcing the resolution during the stakeholders meeting, Yewande, who contested the 2023 governorship election against Mutfwang, called on the former Deputy National Secretary of the APC, Festus Ponta, to move a motion on the issue. However, Mutfwang, a prominent PDP figure, has repeatedly dismissed defection speculations, reaffirming his loyalty to the party until the next general elections. Joining us on the show to discuss the politicking in Plateau State is Majid Dahiru, a political analyst. Good morning, Mr. Dahiru, and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, Ayo. Thanks for having me.
And good to see you, the great Majid Dahiru. The great Majid Dahiru.
Hey, Maga,
bless you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Bless you, sir.
It's good to be here with you today.
Good to be here. Right.
So earlier this week, I believe it was the Senate President who had said that, or an APC chief who had said that we should expect defections this week, that a prominent person will be defecting to the APC. And of course, as you would imagine, a number of speculation around who could this principal actor be. But now we hear that while others are trying to attract people to the APC, because of some political differences in Plateau State, the chairman of the APC is not encouraging or providing an enabling environment to welcome the governor of the state into the party. What's really going on in Plateau State? And is there any possibility, despite the fact that the governor himself, as I said earlier on, has said that he's sticking with the PDP, but others have said this too and have changed their minds in the process? What's really going on?
Is it not ironic, really, that ordinarily the general overseer of the congregation is supposed to be much more interested in growing the number of his flock in order to grow church revenue. But in the case of the National Party chairman of the APC, it seems to do the opposite. Ordinarily, one would expect that his primary interest would be enlarging his party's dominance in the polity, and also ensuring that no stone is left unturned to return his principal, the president of the country, President Bola Tinubu, in the next election. But Apparently, some of the local issues arising from the last election in the state between himself and the incumbent governor appears to be minimizing his scope of vision from looking at another picture in the interest of his party and the president. I say this because President Tinubu is a very unpopular president, arising from his underperformance in 2 years. Because
Mr. Dahiru, Mr. Dahiru, let me challenge that statement, because just this morning we're talking about the APC stakeholders forum who think that he's a very popular president because of his reforms. So are you saying, because when you say that, what is the empirical fact?
That is what we expect the APC to say. I'm speaking as a Nigerian whose life is not better today than President met it is even worse off. So what I'm saying in essence, the president will require all form of structural support to scale to the next elections. He will need alliances, he will need governors as much as possible who can make people vote for the president because of their influence. And I expect that the chairman of the party should know this. Even the president himself has admitted severally that in taking certain policy decisions, he wasn't thinking of the next election, he was simply thinking of Nigeria. So he knows the risk associated with his policies, which might make him unpopular. So even the friend does not live without the illusion that he's a very popular person. So I'm saying that given that situation, the president will need all forms of structural support. And if it is true indeed that the governor of Plateau wants to come into the fold of the APC, I would expect the party chairman to open his arms and welcome into the fold for the interest of his party and for the interest of his president.
Okay. All right. An interesting part of your analysis was centered around those alliances and allegiances that need to come together. The trend we're seeing in Plateau State is not unique to that state. We saw rumors, again, all this is in the realm of speculation, similar rumors in Enugu State, when they said that there was some sort of resistance from the minister, Uche Naji, now former minister Uche Naji, resisting the emergence of, rather the movement of the governor, Peter Mba, to the APC. Similar conversation from Delta State as well, with the leadership of the APC there. It seems the conversation there was around the rivalry, again, competition for power between the existing APC members and those who came into the party from the PDP. I'm curious, as a political analyst, how do you think this is going to play out? Because, for now, the APC celebrates the fact that they're possibly the most stable political party. But given all of these lingering rivalries that are brewing within and sort of a congregation of strange bedfellows being lured because of 2027, do you think the party can withstand all of this? Is it a big enough net to accommodate everybody?
Ordinarily, one would expect that the president, who himself is a veteran politician and a seasoned one at that, I can give that to him. He's paid his dues, he's left a mark in terms of organizational politics within the establishment fold in Nigeria, would step in to stem this unfortunate tendencies within his party. I say this because, yes, like you already pointed out, we had wranglings in Enugu, which eventually somehow led to the minister being the foreman for the goal that was coming in. But there is an example that others can follow. Bayelsa State, for instance, the governor of Bayelsa State, Mr. Duri, has resigned from the PDP. And as we speak, the leader of the APC in Bayelsa State is Senator Reneke Lokobiri, the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Oil. And as the leader of the party, he doesn't feel threatened that the governor is coming in. So what has he done? He has openly called on the governor to say, don't go to another party, don't go to the Labour Party, don't go to the ADC, come to the APC. Come and join us with us to strengthen our party and help for the re-election of Mr. President, who is my principal. So I expect kind of pragmatic approach and like common sense approach by other actors in states where opposition party governors are coming to their fold. You see, within the establishment politics, let's put it this way, especially for candidates that are not very popular among the masses, you need governors, the influence of governors, to try to galvanize votes and support for you. So in a situation where you're not trying to reject someone coming in, that kind of arrogance might not actually play out well in the interest of both your party and your president. And this is coming from the party chairman, who should be the most eager, not only to sweep the entire platoon, including the governor, into the APC, but if it's possible that the whole country goes to one party state, it is his glory, even though it's to the disadvantage of the Nigerian state. I believe that the devil's advocate here, really.
Okay. So, two big elephants are fighting in Plateau State. Yewata at some point was eyeing the position of governor. He's probably also still going to eye the position of governor because his job as APC chairman is temporary. Mufwang has that position. So this squabble is not about the party, it's about ambition on who will be the governor. Because in the scenario when Mufwang comes in to the APC, and I hear they are promising anybody that becomes automatic tickets, Yewata's possibility is knocked out. Exactly that scenario play. So it's about interest. It's even beyond President Bola Ahmed, because President Bola Ahmed is also looking for his own interest. Fix your own problem first.
Exactly.
How are these gladiators going to settle? Yewata, we know that this place, he wanted to be governor. He's done a lot. He's highly popular in that region. In fact, what acted against him in that election cycle was just because there was a lot of not goodwill and bad faith against the former government of Bakula Long. If not for that, in one time of France, you had a PDP Labour wave that really happened around that area. So when you look at all of it, how do you think they will settle? We think Yewata will set down his own governorship future ambition for President Tinubu's seemingly everybody comes to the APC alignment and let Mufwang take it.
Okay, for me, the chairman's ambition to be governor can be accommodated within the president's own interest and ambition as well. I said this because number one, the chairman is a very young man, relatively speaking. He's a young man. He's still has time. So what I think he needs to do is to allow Plateau to enjoy this dual advantage of having a governor statutorily, but the other advantage of having a party chairman. For me, all he needs to do is to broker an agreement that the president himself can actually come in to say, look, Mr. Mufwang, once you are done with your second term, we are going to work towards the election of the party chairman to emerge as the next governor.
But what if APC is no longer relevant after that? You see, politicians like what we call as it is hot. As it's hot, they should eat it. Because you might say, when Mufwang finished, what if APC is no longer relevant in that state and does not have that kind of power when Mufwang finishes? That's a possibility of ground.
And that is why it is important for Governor Mufwang to come into the party to strengthen the APC and make it relevant for a longer time to come.
Okay.
It's sometimes politicians are a bit short-sighted. Okay. So, look, it's something they can actually sort out, really.
All right. Okay, thank you. So I like that you've come in here as a man of peace. Let there be peace in Plateau. Let peace reign. Thank you so much for your time with us. We'll take a short break now. When we return, ABP, your mom will be here with Global Sports Update. Stay with us.
As we gather tonight to celebrate the 2025 Icon Gala honorees.
Being an icon is about service. It's about resilience and leaving space for others to rise. I accept this award not just for myself, but for every single African and diasporic creative daring to dream big.
We are the library
Nigerians take part the bird.
Achievement.
Africa is not just the future, but Africa is right now.
OON, the Trailblazers Managing Director and CEO of Fidelity Bank PLC.
We are Fidelity. We keep our word.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think South. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast, and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
To the morning show here on Arise News. Now for updates on sports stories from across the globe, Ebi Iyomon joins us. Good morning, Ebi. Welcome to the program. Thank you so much. Good morning, Aya. Good morning, Zimba, and good morning, Rufai. And good morning, Ebi. I'll just really run through what I have here. We begin with the under-17 girls at World Cup. After Maxi's 4-1 defeat to Canada in the opening Group D fixture, Nigeria's under-17 girls, that's the Flamingos, now face a test of resilience as they take on France, who began their campaign with a 4-2 victory over Samoa. Heading into its 9th match, Nigeria sits bottom of the table with 0 points and a -3 goal difference. A defeat could mathematically end their World Cup hopes, while a draw could keep them in contention. The last time the Flamingos faced France was 13 years ago in the round of 16 as the Blues progressed 5-3 on penalties. While still talking women's football, the Super Falcons will be without star midfielder Jennifer Echejini for their WAFCON qualifier against Benin Republic after being ruled out due to injury. The Paris Saint-Germain player who scored Nigeria's winner in the AFCON final earlier this year picked a hamstring injury in PSG's 1-0 win over Strasbourg. Scans confirmed she will miss both legs of the qualifier as the Falcons continue preparations in Lomé for Friday's first clash. Her club side team leader, the captain of the Falcons, Rashida Ajibade, arrived late last night alongside Mexico-based duo of Osinachi Ohale and striker Chiwedu Ihezuo. And now to athletics. The World Athletics has awarded Nigeria the hosting right for the inaugural African Running Conference set to take place in Lagos. The event aims to boost fitness, talent discovery, and private investment in sports. NSC Chairman Chiodiko emphasized the need for strategic efforts to develop long-distance running in Nigeria, saying the Commission is working to revive long-distance training centers in Plateau, Taraba, and Adamawa states. The Director General of the Commission, Bukola Olopade, expresses gratitude to the World Athletics for choosing Nigeria over traditional running powerhouses like Kenya, Uganda, and South Africa, while the head of running at the World Athletics, that Alexis Cisterino, explained that the World Athletics endorsed the initiative due to the rapid growth of sports in Nigeria. And now to the Champions League. There are 43 goals scored, 5 red cards handed, and 6 penalties awarded, of which 5 were converted. Erling Haaland extended his current streak to 12 straight games, firing City to a 2-0 win over Villarreal, their first away win in the competition this season. Captain Bernardo Silva sealed it before halftime with a pinpoint header from Fabinho's cross. Meanwhile, Arsenal were ruthless. It was 4 goals in just 14 minutes, tearing Atletico Madrid apart to stay perfect in the group stage. At Camp Nou, Femi Lopez leads off Barcelona with his first career hat-trick, while Marcus Rashford backed the brace in a 6-1 demolition of Olympiacos. The team of Super Eagles defender Bruno Oyemichi, who was making his debut in the competition. Elsewhere, Newcastle stunned Benfica 3-0. PSV crushed Leverkusen 7-2 in a goal fest, and PSV shocked Napoli with a wild 6-2 victory. And tonight, 9 more matches will be played in the Champions League. Have one of the big matches to see Real Madrid take on Juventus at the Santiago Bernabeu. In London, Chelsea take on Ajax. And Liverpool, who have had a poor run of form in their last 4 games in all competitions, are away to Frankfurt. And we want to bounce back from their 1-0 loss against Galatasaray. And Gala, on the other hand, hosts Bodo Glimt. Atlanta take on Slavia Prague. In Germany, Bayern hosts Club Brugge, and Napoli are home to Tottenham, while Sporting take on Marseille. But that's all for me in sports today.
Okay, I mean, a year or so.
Let me just say congratulations, of course, to Arsenal yesterday. Looks like the team is in fine form this year. And I do feel that this particular EPL might throw up some surprises. Maybe it might not be goodbye to Amorim just yet. Manchester United did quite well, yeah, and a number of people have been using him as, just for banter, to say that if you want to spoil your business or go down, just introduce an Amorim into the mix. But it looks like, things, you might just be willing to give him a bit more time. Then Chelsea is also having, not a bad season as well. So maybe it's time finally for the two top, Man City and Liverpool, to finally be displaced and have new champions. That's the beautiful thing about football. Anything can happen, and you don't have the same people all the time. But let Man U fans should not start celebrating anytime. It's like, hey, Ike now already making a lot of noise in the background. Just calm down. Just calm down right there. But again, just also, of course, when it comes to back home with our Super Falcons, yesterday I didn't have the opportunity to talk about how, when we talk about football in Nigeria, we must give kudos to the female football team. A lot of focus is on the Super Eagles, but I also do feel that it's high time we start to really invest in these women and also ensure that we're able to support, promote, and begin to see how we can yield more revenue from women's football, and talk a lot more about it, because they are our shining stars, our diamonds. Absolutely, and I mean they're carrying all the victories on their back right now. So I hope the men can also begin to emulate the good work that the women can do better. But I think it's a positive day today as well. You brought the news of the inaugural Africa road running. Is it the conference that's going to be holding in Lagos State? And I mean, listen, Lagos State continues to lead. That's the honest truth. We saw the electric boat race that just concluded. Now we're seeing the running conference. And when we speak athletics, we know that the potential exists. The potential is there. We can compete with your Kenyas and your Ethiopias and so forth. However, even when we host the Lagos Marathon, we see that it's usually won by the Kenyans or the Ethiopians. I believe the Kenyan has been winning consistently for the past few years now. But the potential is there. We have the human capital. So it's good to see that we're going to start hosting more of these engagements. And I hope that it will translate into the necessary investment into the human capital as well that's required to train our athletes and not hinder our athletes with bureaucracy and so forth. But we didn't get the Commonwealth Games. At least, we're getting other events coming, which is a vote of confidence. Just on a much lighter note, I know a lot of people are saying that maybe Showore should be part of this running conference because he showed us that he's capable of sprinting at a very fast pace. So that's on a much lighter note.
Right, start with short break. Thank you so much, Amy. When we return, we'll have Audrey and we'll have details on what's currently stay with us.
emergencies happen when you least expect them to. It gets worse when you are cash-strapped. No need to despair. First Advance has you covered. You can get that urgent cash right now on First Advance. With First Advance, salary earners can get up to 50% of their salary. No hassles, as long as you earn a monthly salary and your salary account has been active for at least 2 months. It doesn't matter if you're on a salary account with First Bank or any other bank. Just dial *894*11# or simply dial *894# on your mobile phone. What's more, when you open a First Bank salary account, you can enjoy 0 charges and free debit card issuance. Download the First mobile app on Play Store or App Store today. Log in to experience First Bank digital banking. Select loans, select First Advance, and follow the prompts to receive your loan. Don't let that urgent need get the best of you. Get First Advance now. It's as simple as dialing *894*11#. First Advance. Fast, convenient, secure. You first. First Bank.
With Global, you've got the city at your fingertips. Craving fried chicken or smoky jollof? Order on Global. Running low on toiletries? Global's got you. Track the rider as your order makes its way to you. Download Global. Order anything you want and receive it in minutes.
Right, welcome back to the morning show, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have Audrey, the Empress of Umukwata here. Ladies and gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am good morning. I'm very Nigerian. Jimmy, how are you? Before I had restrained me from giving you a drumming welcome. Okay, I can lose the forum. Why don't you want to read the
Today will be excellent if we can. Thank you so much. Good morning, guys. Good morning, We're too much fun here. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending with an update to the pre-Nnamdi Kanu protest on Monday, where despite court orders, protesters led by activist Omoyele Sowore trooped out to demand the release of the leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra. Well, on Tuesday, a magistrate court ordered the remand of Aloy Ejimakor, one of the lawyers representing Nnamdi Kanu, in Kuje prison. The police arrested Ejimakor after he joined protesters demanding Kanu's release and charged him alongside 12 others with various offenses, including criminal conspiracy, disobedience of a lawful order, inciting disturbance, and disturbance of public peace, contravening sections 152, 114, and 113 of the Penal Code law. This development has escalated the controversy surrounding the protest, while legal observers note that while lawyers have the constitutional right to peaceful assembly, their arrests during the protest they participated in adds another layer of complexity to an already contentious case involving freedom of expression, the right to protest, and due process. While activist Omoyele Sowore, in response to this detention, actually put out a post on X, and he wrote, "It is unfortunate that the Nigerian Bar Association has remained quiet regarding the unwarranted and unjust detention of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, Aloy Ejimakor and Barrister Okereke Kingdom Nnamdi." President Afam Osigwe, what is going on? Hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu now. In the meantime, the Center Against Injustice and Domestic Violence has called on the Nigerian Bar Association to take immediate disciplinary action against Aloy Ejimakor for alleged professional misconduct. In a statement, the group condemned the lawyer's appearance at the protest ground, describing it as a clear breach of professional ethics and a violation of Rule 33 of the Rules of Professional Conduct for Legal Practitioners 2023, which deals with sub judice statements. And according to the rule, and I'll read this statement in part, it says a lawyer or law firm engaged in or associated with prosecution or defense of a criminal matter shall not, while litigation is pending, make or participate in making any extrajudicial statement that is calculated to prejudice or interfere with the fair trial of the matter, adding that the law expects that lawyers argue their cases in court, not on the streets, in protest grounds, or on media platforms. I mean, remark coming to you, Mr. Ejmako's participation in this protest is, they say, is tantamount to trying to sway public opinion, and by extension, the court's view on the matter is still under education. I mean, your thoughts on, some of all of these things that I've unpacked before, we discuss on the issue of Nnamdi Kanu as well, because I believe that he has also filed.
Yes, very complex issues. And I think in this instance, I always like to say two things can be true at the same time. The first issue is dealing with the incarceration of the lawyer and the other group of activists. Now, when you look at that FIR report and the issues that they are being indicted for, there are a number of concerns. The number one concern being people are saying that, but this group also included Sowore himself. But Sowore is a free man, and the other 13, I believe, are in prison. So why is there separation between those who have been arrested? If they were all together in a group and alleged to have all committed the same offense, why is there this selectivity? So that means that clearly the playing field is not level. The rules are not applying equally, and many people are even challenging and contesting those rules to say, well, is this really what transpired? Were they really causing public disruption with their protests? Besides the fact that they did stay within the limits prescribed to them, when they tried to go beyond those limits, the police acted, and they were peaceful in their execution. However, another issue that I brought up earlier that I'll bring up is this issue of chanting war songs, and I think we have to be careful now with where we're going. I drew parallels with the case of Julius Malema in South Africa, who was taken to court over chanting a war song. If you remember, he has a song called Kill the Boer, and he says that it's not an insightful song because it's a remnant of their liberation past. So we now need to start having a conversation in Nigeria about whether chanting of war songs that are remnants of a struggle of the past do constitute public disruption in some form or the other. In South Africa, it was ruled to have been within the constitutional right of any activist or advocate to chant any war song they want. Now it's set for the Nigerian law to set their own precedent on this issue. Now that's on one aspect. On the aspect of sub judice, the rules are clear. This man was on the streets advocating for and vocalizing for a case that should have been in defense as of that point. Of course, we've seen a number of issues that have come up with regards to delaying going into that defense. But at this time, I think that we need to focus our attention to the defense, because the prosecution have rested their case, and it's now up to Nnamdi Kanu to put forward his own defense. I know there are other developments that you'll come to, but and it's now not only is it up to him to put forward his defense, but it's also up to the public, civil society, to hold the judiciary accountable, to ensure that his defense is treated fairly, is given in a fair environment, and that he has access to all that he needs to be in order for him to provide a thorough and robust defense for himself. I think, I hope I've dealt with many of the substantive issues, but yeah.
I mean, in terms of Ejmako being, detained in Kuje and all of that, you would wonder, I mean, he's a lawyer, shouldn't he have known the rules? But I'm sure that there will be other, lawyers that would actually come and argue his case as well as to whether or not he had the right to protest at the same time. But meanwhile, barely 24 hours after the protest, The detained IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu, in a motion he personally filed on Tuesday, October 21st, agreed to enter his defense and informed the Federal High Court of his plan to call a total of 23 witnesses divided into 2 categories, well, among those listed as compellable witnesses are former Minister of Defense, General Theophilus Danjuma, former Chief of Army Staff, General Tuko Boratai, FCT Minister Yeson Wike, Works Minister Dave Umahi, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, and Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. The detained IPOB leader told the court he would testify on his own behalf, providing a sworn account of the facts, denying the allegations, and explaining the political context of his statements and actions. He requested a 90-day time frame to conclude his defense, given the number of witnesses. I mean, what a dramatic turn of events. You know, Kanu's lawyer has been remanded in Kuje Correctional Center for participating in the protest. The timing and Kanu's decision to personally sign the notice raised questions about his relationship with his legal team and suggests a significant strategic pivot in his defense approach, potentially signaling his readiness to confront, the charges directly after years of legal challenge. People would say, he had no choice. Right now, his lead counsel is in detention. He has to, I believe he also is a lawyer. He says, Nnamdi Kanu. I've said some places that he said that.
You see, if you want to build a nation, let's build a nation. If you want to be hypocritical, let's be hypocritical. For all of those that are saying Ejimako has no right of protest, and I'm not a lawyer, so please you can challenge some of my thoughts, but I'll think freely on this. And they are claiming sub judice. We have all been on this table where many cases that are currently in courts have been come to discuss here. You remember? Can we even go back and point out a couple of things anyway? We remember the debacle of Natasha, and we remember how people were coming to discuss the case while even the judges said they shouldn't discuss it here. You will remember? Why didn't the legal disciplinary committee, why is they called in there? This case has not been, it's been on for a while. You remember that at some point during President Buhari's administration, some Igbo leaders, even when the case was in court, went to prevail over President Buhari for a political solution. Were they sub judice then? I'm talking about those Igbo leaders. Yeah. Recently, we've heard that governors like Alex Oti and a couple of other governors, I think Governor of Imo State, have been talking to the president about the case currently in courts. Can we also deem those as sub judice? So please, I don't know anything in law, but I just think out loud. So please, you can educate me. I'm open to education. No. So sorry, what's the learn? No, and that's what I'm asking. And I'm cited by position. That were these engagements, sub judice, the one that the great elder statesman from the south is that even finally passed after that negotiation with President Buhari, at that time, he was a former federal minister in the 60s in this country. They went to President Buhari to ask and beg that Nnamdi Kanu to reach political solution. The governors that have been talking to the president of Uganda are these also sub judice? Because when you say, okay, Ejimako went to protest about the case in court and you say, okay, sub judice, you should know better. Now he's been detained and he's been taken against his right to forget his citizens first. Well, those other instances were they sub judice. That's just what I want to. And please, let's also put a background on this case. We've also had a court in this country that have said that the Kanu did no wrong, that should be discharged and acquitted, and appeal courts. Before this case had been taken to the Supreme Court. So let's also put that in the context of this conversation. Whether the Kanu say he wants to go ahead with the defense process, yes, he has the rights. But also, it's only incumbent on let's make a verification if he was the one that listed these people out. And let's make a verification on that process that was said that came from him. And let him go through his defense. The man has the right to be able to defend himself. Right. I am not saying that we should not, have a definitive stance on the rule of law in this country. But all I point out every day is the hypocrisy.
There are people
now that we see them carrying guns and everything, bandits, having peace meetings and all that. Nobody have arrested them now. Their matter is not in court, not something this now. So that one is out there. Then secondly, we have also seen people that were pardoned, bandits, criminals that were pardoned. What we are also saying is the political solution that you feel was good for the bandits that people speak for, give it to this man and charge him that if any other thing is done again, then actions will be meted up. That's all what a lot of people are calling for in this regard. Yes. That's just it. So if you call him all sorts of things, you call him a terrorist and everything, but you've done it for some bandits in the past now. Why is it no different? All right. That's all I'm asking. Right. I'm not saying I support the way he went about it. I'm not saying I support all his abuses.
Mm-hmm. All right.
You did the same process people are saying do for this man, for other people that we saw. You rehabilitated them. Like Dr. Bati said, you give them ashwebi and jollof rice and pepper soup. Mm-hmm. These are people that carry gun. I'm not sure now they can't ever. Did you ever say any gun is not going to shoot people? But these are people that carry gun, that kill criminals. That criminals that committed serious crimes.
All right.
You gave them a waiver and you said they should be good members of society again. Mm-hmm. All we are just saying is, for the sake of balancing and for the sake of let's have fairness.
All right.
Let that same thing be done to them, and let's also charge it that all the insecurity there that people are attributed to it, let it stop.
All right.
So that at least when we are in the cameras out to picture anybody that does this thing again, we'll say, okay, we know this is criminality. That's all I'm arguing.
I did the names that you mentioned though as compellable witnesses. I mean, I wonder how that will play into his, defense and all of that. He's asking for 90 days. I believe the last time there was a ruling by James Omotosho, Judge Omotosho. He had said that Nnamdi Kanu should, conduct his case within 6 days. So I don't know. I mean, he's now asked for 90 days. It seems like another extension. But yesterday was this Free Nnamdi Kanu protest, and there were many dimensions to the protest. We saw a clergyman calling out notable pastors, including Pastor Enoch Adeboye, as well as Pastor Tunde Bakare, saying that instead of enjoying tithes and offerings, they should be present at the protest. Well, the same priest was seen running and taking cover after police dispensed tear gas. Let's take a look.
As an Episcopal Lord, I was expecting to see my colleagues. I've not seen anyone yet. I've not seen Pastor Adeboye. Where is he? I've not seen Pastor Tunde Bakare. Pastor Tunde Bakare, where are you? You came to the street to discuss Goodluck Jonathan, to include economic policy, social reform. You people knock him out of Asura. And today, one man, the country is on that stage. And you people are busy. You enjoy your tithe and offering in your church. Come out and speak for justice. What did God Almighty say? I do not delight in your tithe and offering. I do not delight in your born country. Justice is what I ask you.
I'm sorry, I'll have to ask you, Rubai. Rubai has been cracking up. Is it your constituent or constituent? What are you? They're big pastors. But he didn't make a valid point. And the reason why he called those people was because they were out during the time of, those protests and I know you should have told. Okay, 30-second comment.
We call that. They came out in their youthful days. Has anything changed?
No.
Pastor Adeboye is 83 years old. Pastor Bakare just turned 70. Let the youth go and use their strength to protest.
Yeah.
Because they've done their own. I think that maybe we should call the younger ones to now take on the baton of defending and going out there to protest. You can protest in many ways. You don't have to go on the street.
Yes, it was just that funny part where he was.
No, that was.
He has stood his full chest.
I have not been coming out. I have not been coming out to express his right as a citizen of Nigeria.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, all right. Well, let's now turn to the Nigerian Senate, where a heated clash occurred on Tuesday, October 23rd, between Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Senator Adams Oshiomhole, and Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan regarding a controversial abortion clause in the Criminal Code Act Amendment Bill 2025, which aims to strengthen laws against sexual offenses, including prescribing life imprisonment for child defilement. The dispute arose shortly after the Senate voted to step down the bill for further deliberation. Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan attempted to reopen discussion on a sensitive abortion-related clause, prompting immediate objection from Senator Adams Oshiomhole, who wrote a order, arguing that it was against parliamentary rules to revisit a matter that had already been concluded by the Senate. Let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
Support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Mr. Senate President, please may I speak? I'm a woman and abortion has to do with women. It's very important, sir.
Let us go to clause. This has been stepped down in totality. Is it Senator? This has been stepped down in view of the condition, but if you have anything to add, you can say.
Thank you very much, sir. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, Kogi Central. Sir, this borders on abortion. And
yes, Senator.
Mr. President, we have been tutored over and over that when a matter has been concluded and you have dropped the gavel, in this particular case, to allow for more conversation, if you grant exemption to distribution to Natasha, then you must extend the same extension to us, in which case our rules will become meaningless. I think the rules should be obeyed. We have said more discussion, which allow her to make any input, and I also intend to make more input. I think that is the whole essence of defining it. To continue the debate, many of us will rather debate it here. So I think my distinguished sisters will agree that these are the rules.
I'm not a spirit to know what the senator wanted to say. The senator said, I want to say something. But if I knew, I would have referred her to Rule 52, sub 6.
All right, that section, Akpabio went on to rule her out of order, but I must say that he did show grace. But, Natasha being a woman, I believe, should have been given the floor to speak. I watched the proceedings and debate, and she appeared to have been calling to speak before the debate for minutes before that debate was closed. The bill was subsequently referred to the Senate Committee on Judiciary and Human Rights for further review. However, we're getting reports that women groups are planning to issue a statement to stop the review and demand a public hearing instead, objecting to the passage of the amendment. Now, when you look at some of the sections of the abortion clause in the Criminal Code Act, it appears quite controversial and confusing as you look at it. For example, let's read that section 4, the amendment of section 230 on supplying drugs or instrument to procure abortion. Section 230 of the Principal Act reads in part, any person who unlawfully supplies to or procures for any person anything whatever, knowing that it is intended to be unlawfully used to procure the miscarriage of a woman, whether she is or is not with child, is guilty of a felony and is liable to imprisonment for 5 years. I mean, this is such a huge debate. This debate highlights, the controversial nature of abortion legislation in Nigeria. Ayo, before I come to you, I'd like to take some reactions on X. But like I read in that section, the idea of miscarriage of a woman, I mean, that's also part of this was what she was trying to debate. It's not miscarriage of a woman, it's miscarriage of a fetus. There's nobody that willingly wants to miscarry a child. It's an involuntary action, correct? But let me take some reactions on X. This person wrote, Senator Natasha has a valid point. Issues like abortion affect women directly, and her voice deserves to be heard. Silencing her only shows how male-dominated the system still is. Rule of order or not, the Senate should at least listen when a woman speaks on issues like this. Another ex-user wrote, abortion is not the only sensitive thing discussed in the House, but the rule must be followed. There is a channel everyone in the House can make points when a case has been closed. She was not silenced. The House was just reminded of the proper thing to do. Another ex-user wrote, we don't have many women in the National Assembly, and since it's a deliberation on a topic that concerns women, she should have been given the chance to air her views. Rule or no rule. Finally, an ex-user wrote, see men talking about abortion like they get pregnant. That was actually my favorite egg. But this is such a big topic. Worldwide, in the United States, senators get removed for, some controversial comments about abortion. But like I said in my opening statement, I believe that she should have been given the floor, even if it was for 30 seconds. Senate President Godswill Akpabio heard her and was about to give her the floor until Senator Adams Oshiomhole intervened.
It's also, I want to interpret from that interaction is that Senator Adams Oshiomhole is a stickler for rules, irrespective of what happens. But there's such a thing as discretion. And I believe that it is in the power of the Senate President to have discretion as to, okay, this matter has been stepped down because of the nature of it and the fact that we have only 4 women in the Senate. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, Senator Ipalibo Banigo, Senator Idia Toluwanti-Adebole, and Senator Ireti Kinibe. 4 of them. Out of the 4 of them, 1 woman has consistently had a voice, tried to have a voice in the Senate. I don't know why. I don't know where the other 3 senators are. Maybe we should also spotlight the fact that despite the fact that women are disproportionately not represented in the Senate, we don't even hear the voices of those who are represented. I like the fact that she noted that she had raised her hand earlier whilst the debate was still going on, and this is not the first time. We don't want to make it seem as if it's a victimization as a result of what has transpired. I don't want to say that that is what is happening. I don't want to believe that that's what is happening because that's a hallowed chamber. I want to imagine that they'll be very professional. Now, on a topic like this, that involves women directly, at least 1 female voice ought to be heard.
I think one person spoke and backed the amendment saying that it should be increased to 5 years. The felony punishment of establishment should be increased to 5 years.
Yeah, in terms of for the abortion conversation and the nitty-gritty of it, I believe that what the Senate President did initially by using his discretion to say, okay, you know what, speak up, and then was it in order? We understand the rules and people talk about rules and rules, but rules are made for the people and to enable a smooth running of the process. In extenuating circumstances like this, where you feel that the conversation will be made richer or be made robust and it's more inclusive, especially by the primary stakeholders, I thought that at least that discussion ought to have been extended to her. And this is also to make a bigger plea for ensuring that the voice of, this is not Senator Natasha Akpoti anymore, this is Kogi Central speaking. They must recognize that. Because when you silence the voice of one person, you're not just silencing her voice, you're silencing the voice of an entire constituent. You're silencing the voice of an entire demography, which is the women of Nigeria, whom only 4 of them out of 106 of them represent. And so I think in that regard, that ought to have been done. That's not simple.
In all fairness, quick comment. I commend Senator Akpabio.
Yes.
He exercised that discretion.
He did very well.
It doesn't mean that if he does otherwise, I will not say. I will say, but on this, I commend Senator Akpabio. And I don't think Senator Oshiomhole should have just come in that he just allowed the woman to speak.
That is it. But now the matter has been, pushed to a judicial review. Like I said, some women groups are trying. Yes, that's what they're asking. The women should want a public debate. The matter should not be debated by only men and just 4 women and all of that. There should be a public debate and all of that. But we will follow up on the story. But also kudos to the senators for bringing these sort of sensitive issues to the floor of the House. Meanwhile, in a monumental development aimed at curbing the increase of child sexual abuse across the country, the Senate on Tuesday passed a new bill mandating life imprisonment for any individual, male or female, found guilty of sexually assaulting a minor. The original motion presented by Senator Adams Oshiomhole of Edo North proposed a 20-year sentence, but this was rejected after Senator Mahmoud Adamu Aliero of Kebbi Central successfully argued for the shorter life sentence as a necessary deterrent, citing reports of victims as young as 5 years old. If signed into law, this legislation will replace existing provisions in Nigeria's criminal and penal code that currently impose lighter penalties for offenders. I mean, this landmark legislation represents a significant shift in Nigeria's approach to protecting children from sexual predators. Rights groups have long criticized existing provisions in the criminal and penal code for imposing penalties that they argue are disproportionately light, given the lifetime trauma inflicted on victims. I thought that I should highlight this. I don't know if you guys have discussed it. Like I said, kudos to the Senate. I mean, this is such an important bill. Well, to our next story from Kano State, where a magistrate court has taken the controversial decision to order two popular TikTokers, Idris Mai Bushiria and Bashira Yaguda, to forcibly get married within 60 days after viral videos reportedly showed the content creators engaged in romantic displays considered indecent by the state. The order came on Monday from Magistrate Halima Wali, who stipulated that the Kano State Hisba Board and the state religious police force should facilitate their marriage, and failure to do so will be seen as contempt of court. When I read this story, I will fire if I should come to you on the story. When I read this story, I was aghast. I mean, I've read some reactions so that we can discuss this. This decision from the court has triggered mixed reactions online, with some people welcoming the court's decision to maintain moral corrective measures in line with the state's already established Islamic values, while others say it represents an overreach from authorities against freedom of expression. Let me take this post and ask this person wrote. This has to be one of the most absurd rulings I've seen. So now, the Kano Court and Hisba are in the business of matchmaking? Let's be clear. This isn't about love or consent. Two TikTok creators shared videos, and the court decided the solution is to force them to marry within 60 days. We have to ask, when did personal freedom and freedom of expression become a crime? What happens if either of them does not agree? This ruling raises serious concerns about the line between enforcing moral codes and violating basic human rights. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Bar Association has condemned the ruling. NBA President Afam Osigwe described the court's directive as unconstitutional, maintaining that marriage is a voluntary union that cannot be imposed by the state, describing the decision as an affront to fundamental rights and a grave misunderstanding of judicial authority. And I'll read NBA's statement in part. They wrote, "No court has the power to compel any person to marry another person or two persons to mandatorily marry. Marriage, by its very nature, is a voluntary union between consenting adults. It cannot, under any circumstances, be imposed as a form of punishment, moral correction, or judicial remedy." The NBA called for immediate review of the decision and urged judicial authorities to prevent reoccurrence, warning that such actions undermine public confidence in the judiciary. This case raises critical questions, Rufai, about the intersection of religious law, state authority, and constitutional rights in Nigeria's diverse landscape. Your thoughts?
See, when we started fiddling with this idea of, religious law many years ago, I think the incumbent there was told that it will have repercussions and far-reaching repercussions, and I'm sure he's beginning to see that now. So with this court that has been coerced, because TikTok content producers produce content, so that means for good measure, if I probably produce a content, it's a content, I must say, that Vimbai and I, or that me and who I should say now. No, anybody.
Why not Vimbai? I don't understand.
No.
I don't want to use anybody on the
I don't want to use anybody. So that me and somebody, for instance, gets married. So what if I'm in a field, a movie, that me and somebody got married? Would they compel me that because I married somebody in the movie, that I must marry the person in real life? You're laughing. But that's what they caught.
Nigeria.
See, that's what they caught in Nigeria.
Yes, in Nigeria.
And you see, when we talk about the judiciary, and people say, oh, why are we talking? And then, I mean, by the way, this doesn't happen. I did the state of emergency case. The Supreme Court apparently heard it yesterday after how many months after the state of emergency. Kudos to the likes of Bolaji Aruni, which today is his birthday of that, and they said they have a date where they're going to give. So it speaks volumes about the judiciary as we speak. So actually, the way I said it now, it looks like a joke to everybody. This is the joke Nigeria has become. Because people want to, maintain a pristine moral outlook. When people do content, to be able to make a means of living, the reason why the content creators is doing content is because you, the government, largely, you fail them. They don't have a means of living. They can't steal. So you are making a content like this. Then the next thing, you are not saying because of their livelihood, because you want to maintain a moral platform or outlook, that they must get married. You can see how funny it sounds. And that's why I'm happy the NBA has told them that is not right. People have fundamental rights. But you see, I don't think they will stand logic. Because the Constitution is the grown law. So whatever they decide, the Constitution supersedes all of that.
Of course.
And there are freedoms in the Constitution.
Well said.
It's shocking.
It is shocking. I mean, they need to realize
that's the joke.
It's unacceptable.
So just very quickly, in light of what we've been speaking about recently around domestic violence and spouses killing each other, these are people that voluntarily got married. And we're talking about how we should be sanctity of marriage. When you force people who may not like each other, who may be at each other's throats, it doesn't all go well for that. So if we're speaking about trying to reduce the incidence of homicide, femicide, spouses killing each other, if they come together and they fight every day, who will we blame for that? So we need to be, on the moral side of things, with all due respect to the court, doesn't make a lot of sense.
All right, well said. Let's now take this troubling video, which has gone viral on social media, showing a young woman identified as Aisha Wahab pleading for the public to help her raise 20 million naira in ransom after being kidnapped from Ibarra camp in Auchi on October 11th. In the distressing footage, Wahab is seen with a rifle pointed at her head as she tearfully begs for her release, stating that her captors threatened to kill her by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, that was yesterday, if the money was not paid. Let's take a look.
Help me. They want me, I beg. Mona say money come. I beg. Mona help me. My people, I beg. Mona help me, I beg. Time they go.
That's stupid.
My people are playing. Mona quit. Which I need to do. Now, 5 o'clock.
Before I come.
Yes, they don't kill me. Now, they don't kill me. 5 o'clock.
All right, we've been trying to reach out to the police PRO in Edo State. I was able to reach out to the Commissioner for Information, Kazim Afegua, of Edo State, and he wrote that I found out from relevant security what the update was. The problem was, first of all, finding the identity of the girl, which they have been able to establish. Secondly, they are working through synergy by the 3 security agencies, police, DSS, and Edo Security Corps, and they have made useful links, but won't be able to advise any other on that. That's the main question.
I think that's the most important thing That's all of this is just rigmarole. Yeah, we're working on things rigmarole. Is she alive? Can we ascertain? See, this is the genocide that we face as Nigerians. The genocide of
Let's invite her to floor. Let's invite her to floor.
I mean, this is painful to watch. It's very troubling, and it's I commend you for taking the story, because it's also difficult to take it, because we ask ourselves, we hope that by adding publicity to it, we're not doing more more harm than good. But this is an appeal for the security forces to get in there and do what needs to be done. Edo used to have an Edo security network. I believe something happened when there was a transition to the current government. I'm not sure whether they restored it and reinforced it. But, you know, I like to always use the example of a good thing because some people might think it's not possible. But I will always reiterate the positive developments in security that are happening in Enugu State. Because the moment you enter the state, there's facial recognition. They register you, they upload you into the database. Those cameras go into the forest as well. They zoomed in for us, and you can see the detail around it, even in the forested areas. Any vehicle that enters into the state immediately gets captured and uploaded. I say this because this is a model that needs to be followed around Nigeria, because this is the type of distress signal if we have those AI cameras. And yes, I know many people might be a little bit reluctant and say that, can we do it? But it's being done in one of the states. If that model existed, then a distress call would have been sent out almost immediately to be able to locate, and we would even be able to watch in real time what's happening in that forest. That's what I was able to see, you know, to experience firsthand in Enugu State. So this is just a reminder, another call to our governors that the governors are not helpless in security issues. There are things that are within their control, and they need to take charge of those issues, because these types of instances, you know, and then to the federal level, we have NIN, we have so many ways to track devices. This is something that was uploaded onto the internet. Are you telling me that we can't track where this upload came from and, you know, zone in to rescue this woman? This is all English. At the end of the day, this woman must come home. She must come home alive. No ransom should be paid, and the perpetrators of this crime must be arrested. We want to see them prosecuted. We want to see them languishing in the prisons. You know, the way it's not the protesters we want to see in prison. These are the people we want to see in prison.
These are the issues really at this moment. I'd have loved to take our good news report, but I also wanted to celebrate the Oba of Benin. Well, at the end of the day, I hope that this woman is found and she is healthy. I want to make sure that I will follow up on the story, and I will do that. I hope that, you know, Nigeria will not happen to her. Aisha must be found safe. Justice for Aisha. Now, on a milestone, celebrating the Oba of Benin, who was born, we celebrate His Royal Majesty, the Oba of Benin, Ewari II, as he marks his 72nd birthday and 9th coronation anniversary on the throne of the ancient Benin Kingdom. The dual celebration has attracted tributes from prominent Nigerians, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, recognizing the monarch's remarkable reign and contributions to cultural preservation. October 20th, 1953, Oba Ewari II was crowned the Oba of Benin on October 20th, 2016. He became the 40th Oba, a title created for the head of state of the Benin Empire. Since ascending the throne 9 years ago, Oba Ewari II has brought renewed vigor to the ancient kingdom, ushering in what observers describe as a renaissance of Benin arts and culture. His reign has been characterized by peace, cultural advocacy, and diplomatic engagement that has elevated the profile of traditional institutions across Nigeria. In his tribute, Atiku Abubakar praised the monarch's leadership, stating that his remarkable life and reign on the throne has brought peace to the ancient kingdom of Benin, as well as heralded a renaissance of the arts and culture, of which he remains the foremost custodian. His educational background, including degrees from universities in Wales and London, combined with deep respect for ancestral custom, has enabled the Oba navigate contemporary challenges while preserving the essence of Benin monarchy. Oba Otapaye, we would like to congratulate him.
You've got the city at your fingertips. Bringing fried chicken or smoky jollof. Order on Global. Running low on toiletries? Global's got you. Track the rider as your order makes its way to you. Download Global. Order anything you want and receive it in minutes.
Imagine your wallet can be everything. Well, almost everything your bank is to you. That's exactly what First Money Wallet is. First Money Wallet from First Bank is another sweet and seamless way to bank from your mobile phone. It doesn't matter if you have a First Bank account or not, but the mobile network you use. Everyone can open a First Money Wallet, and it's very easy. Your phone number is your account number. With First Money Wallet, you can send money using just a phone number, receive money, pay bills, buy airtime and data for yourself or someone else, and check balance. You don't need a bank account at all or BVN to enjoy the boundless possibilities First Money Wallet offers. All you need is a registered phone number, and you can fund your wallet easily through your First Bank account or any bank account and debit card. What's more, First Money Wallet is highly secure with fingerprint technology and PIN. And when you need cash, just walk up to any First Money agent near you to withdraw money. No smartphone, no wahala. Just dial *894*1# on any phone. So it doesn't matter if you live in the city or the remotest part of the country. With First Money Wallet, your transactions are easy, seamless, and secure. Download the First Money Wallet app now. Input your phone number and follow the prompts, or simply dial *894*1#. All money now on First Money. You first, First Bank.
Coming soon to over 500 million smartphone users and 1.5 billion voices. Leke, the social platform for the world, out of Africa. By the founders of Arise and This Day Media Group, they're going to be launching with a big bang. A new homegrown social platform born in Africa and built for the world, blending community, culture, and cutting-edge AI. It's fast, culturally rooted, data-friendly, and designed to scale globally. A digital platform for youth, creators, and business. A one-stop shop to connect, share, create, and earn. It's time to end social media imperialism. This is Leke, a voice for all.
Feel the pulse of the planet. From New York to Nairobi, London to Lagos. Our world is connected. Our stories intertwined. Join us as we navigate the news that shapes our lives. News through the voices that live it, the experts that make sense of it, and the leaders that shape it. Our network of correspondents around the world ensure that you don't miss a thing. Trust us to bring you unfiltered news, deep dives, and powerful conversations. The world never stops, and neither do we. Every second counts, and every story matters. Give us 60 minutes, and we'll give you the world.
We go to the lengths of the universe to bring you the top stories of the day. From the breaking news to the big stories, from Nigeria, across Africa, and the world, we bring a unique perspective. A Nigerian perspective, an African understanding of global events as they occur. Politics and policy, people and events. Thought leaders and newsmakers
innovation, technology, culture, and the arts, as well as everything else in between. Every night on Africa's premier news broadcaster, we ask the hard questions and get the answers. Speak to the experts that give the deep insights on issues that shape our world. Every news night on Arise, the world's standout news channel.
Naira, shillings, China, yen, interest rates are up again. Commodities, bonds and shares. Seize the moves and mingle with the peers. Derivatives, currencies, kindly understand it, please. Finance girls, the piece of the trade portfolio is getting big. Long trade. Let your money move with the wisdom. Trade. Let the markets take you there. Stay up to date with business and markets every weekday on the Rice Exchange.
You're watching Arise, the world's standout news channel. Arise News, awards, and beyond.
Hello, welcome to Arise News. You're watching the Global Business Report. Rory Sobiri here. We're in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital. There's a whole lot going on around the business world. Gold falling by the most since 2020. Have you got gold? Be careful. You see, this is what we say. Things are volatile. Watch out. Silver also falling as well, but rebound. We'll get into the prices. Also in the news, General Motors has lifted its forecast on tariffs and also electric vehicle, well, not electric vehicle, but mostly tariffs and its full year outlook. We'll give you the details on that. OpenAI, are you an investment banker? You might be out of a job. OpenAI is targeting investment banking, paying ex-bankers $150 an hour to train their models on building financial models. And in Nigeria, well, maybe if you didn't buy gold, I hope you're buying stocks. We'll talk to your financial advisor first. The NGX, 47.1%. What else can we say? Global Business Report, you stay tuned. We need to play Mike Myers and Austin Powers. I love gold every time now for the rest of the year. 4,375 falling to 4,114. This was yesterday, falling by almost 6%. Biggest drop. See, we got so much space here. I can do cartwheels and just jump around the place. Biggest drop for gold since 2020. Gold, of course, will up over 50-something% before this drop. It can't go up forever. It's going to come down at some point. So speaking of which, it has rebounded. So early trading this morning, up by about 22 basis points, 4,135. But I mean, it's really been an incredible story with gold here, seen as a safe haven when things get wherever. Gold doesn't pay you a dividend, right? All you get is capital appreciation. But 4,135 is where silver also falling as well, about 7% yesterday. So that's what we're seeing with the precious metals. Meanwhile, Asian markets, by the way, one of the biggest buyers of gold is India. They're celebrating Diwali, so happy Diwali to everybody out there. So India is not trading today. Indian markets are closed. Shanghai Composite Index over in China falling by 0.1%. President Trump saying yesterday that there could still be 150% tariffs on China by November the 1st if they don't agree to a deal by next week. We'll see what happens. Scott Bessent is meeting with his Chinese counterpart in that regard. The Hang Seng Index also taking a breather, down by 84 basis points, but the technology index, the Hang Seng Tech, that's what's been powering this index so far this year. The Nikkei 225, we have a new prime minister, the first female prime minister in Japan. She, of course, she's not really big on monetary policy tightening, so markets taking a breather over in Japan. Look at that, 49,000 307. Can we hit 50? Can we hit 50 over in Japan? 2 basis points down. This is the standout index on planet Earth. The Kospi over in Korea, which is incredible when you think about everything that Korea has gone through with the whole martial law, changing presidents. Over 60% gain so far this year, up by 1.5. It's the Lone Ranger. It's the Lone Ranger in markets in Asia taking a breather. Australia down as well. General Motors, they make a slew of vehicles in the United States. Biggest jump for their stock in 6 years, almost 15%. Positive outlook for profits. Tariff outlook, they've tempered that down, saying, okay, they may not lose as much money as possible. They're trying to compete with China. They're still making their electric vehicles. They're still depending on internal combustion engine vehicles. Do we have the car that we rented when we were in DC? Yeah, there we go. When Arise News went to Washington, D.C., we got a Chevrolet, which is made by General Motors. This is the Chevy Equinox. Retails for about $35,000. And you can see the price points there. Chinese models are doing $20,000, $25,000. The unit economics of making a car in America, the cost is much higher than in China. So this is the challenge. This is pretty incredible. 80% charge when we got this car. It was about 50% when we returned, and we drove around the city carrying our camera equipment, filming stuff at the IMF World Banking, and incredible safety features. I'm turning this into a car ad. The Arise News sales team is going to send me an invoice. Wrote this paper, this Chevrolet ad. All right, moving on from there to Netflix streaming now. Netflix stock fell about almost 6.5% trading yesterday. Basically, their operating profit was not as they didn't meet what Wall Street was expecting. They have to pay. I'm going to get into this over maybe tomorrow or the day after. Brazil is just taxing everybody. They're paying.
Watching Arise, the world's standout news channel. Arise News, awards and beyond.
Naira, shillings, China, yen, interest rates are up again. Commodities, bonds and shares. Seize the bulls and over the fears. Derivatives and currencies. Can we understand it, please? Finance girls, the piece of the trade portfolio is getting big. Come on, trade. Let your money move with the wisdom. Trade. Let the markets take you there. Stay up to date with business and markets every weekday on the Arise Exchange.
This is Arise News. We interrupt this program for a live event.
Thank you. And also the Minister for State, Dr. Mariam Mahmood, for their unwavering commitment to building a smart, investment-friendly capital. Working with His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of the FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, we have witnessed visionary leadership and a strong commitment to urban renewal across the Federal Capital Territory. This administration has prioritized the rehabilitation of road networks, improvement of public transportation systems, upgrading of street lighting and drainage infrastructure, and revitalization of the key city districts to enhance mobility and livability. Working hand in hand with our leader, he has also advanced projects that strengthen waste management, housing development, and green area restoration, ensuring a cleaner, more functional city for all. And as the Nigerians would like to say, Abuja is now shining its eyes. Shine your eyes. Because under his watch, the city is truly wearing a new look. Most notably, the refurbishment of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Conference Center, where we are all seated here today,
stands as a symbol of purposeful development. Thank you. Let me hear that clap. Thank you very much. I'm sure most of you that are coming here for the first time, I'm sure you're surprised. And this is actually a tribute to the President's enduring legacy of transformative governance. This landmark project not only enhances the architectural beauty of Abuja, but also reinforces its status as a modern capital reflecting the renewed hope vision. I also thank our traditional rulers. I thank most especially our keynote speaker that has made time to come, and you know him is an investment guru. I thank you very especially. I'd like to thank our mother for representing His Excellency and being here with us this morning. My special appreciation goes to the planning committee of AICL. If you're in the room, just stand up for recognition, but I know they are all outside. Thank you so much. Thank you. And of course, the event managers of this program, Forum Solutions. If you're in the room also, I'd like to thank you for this wonderful work that you've done. Thank you so much for the professionalism and excellence. Together, let us continue to unlock the potential of Abuja's economy and contribute to the prosperous Nigeria founded on opportunity, resilience, and hope. Thank you once again. Welcome to the Abuja Investment Expo 2025. Welcome address from Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Maureen Tamno, who is lighting entrepreneurial fires in Abuja and pushing the envelope. I'd like to take a moment to welcome my other statesman, Baba. It's always good to see you, sir. Welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you join us today. I'd like to greet all chief executives and heads of government agencies that are here. I'd like to say that one of the things that Dr. Tamano is very famous for doing is engaging stakeholders and making her mark in doing what they call management by walking around. Her style of management is such that she would engage you if you were not engaging her if she needed you. She will call on you, she will visit with you, she will showcase Abuja at every drop of the heart. She has said that the FCT administration currently is building a smart, investment-friendly city, is building a lot of infrastructure to ensure that those in the city benefit and entrepreneurs are on top of their game. There's green area restoration for a cleaner and more functional city. And of course, there's visionary leadership and a strong commitment to urban renewal. Let's hear another round of applause for our host, who has invited us here for this very important Abuja Business and Investment Expo 2025. Just putting on record that my entire FCT family has gathered to support this initiative. We have mandate secretaries in the room. We have permanent secretaries from the FCT, directors, heads of agencies, and coordinators from the FCT who are here. And the FCT head of service is represented today by Mr. Ugafo Augustine, Director ICT, FCTA. You are here, we celebrate you, we welcome you, and we thank you so very much for coming. There's no better time than this time to celebrate the representative of the Honorable Minister of the FCT, who is at once a woman who continues to look out for the citizens of the FCT, an excellent team player, and a ranking member of the FCT family, who has joined us today with an elegant presence. Please let's give a round of applause to the Honorable Minister of the FCT in representation by the Minister of the FCT. At this point in time, I'd like to invite my co-director of ceremony, whom I like to call the Voice, who has a few things to tell us for safety, and then he will go on, of course, to do the goodwill messages. Andy?
Thank you very much. I'm most delighted to be here. And of course, in talking about safety, before I get to doing that, let me warmly recognize the presence of our keynote speaker who's been recognized before. But I'd like you to please join me in welcoming Sir Tony Elumelu, CFR, one more time. We also want to warmly recognize the presence of Chief Ferdinand Zalara, our elder statesman. Please, a one round of applause for him. We're also being joined by Honorable Tosin Adamson Hainde, Senior Special Assistant to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on Industrial Training and Development. We'd like to welcome you. Please, a one round of applause for him. And His Royal Majesty Alhaji Dr. Adamu Baba Yunusa CON, owner of Babaji, who chairs the FCT Council of Chiefs, Abuja, and Chancellor Federal University of Bukari, Taraba State, is ably represented here by Honorable Alhaji Kamal Adamu Shuaibu, Sadikin Gabas of Abaji, Hakimi of Ayaura, and the Agepa Crown Prince of Abaji. Please let's welcome him with a round of applause. And now take us through the safety briefs, really very important. We ordinarily would have started with that, but it's better late than never. Now, as we proceed, please allow me to bring to your attention a few important safety and convenience notes. The conveniences for both male and female guests are located to the left-hand side of the lobby, just as you come out of this auditorium. In the unlikely event of an emergency, you will hear a very clear voice command saying, evacuate, evacuate. Please do not panic. Our trained personnel will be guiding you safely to designated muster points. And kindly note that this facility is CCTV monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And please ensure your safety and security at all times. However, please keep your personal belongings and valuables very safe. Finally, as a courtesy to our speakers and guests, we ask that you keep your mobile phones completely on a silent mode throughout this event. Thank you for your rapt attention and cooperation. We wish us a very smooth and peaceful event. Open. The managing director was invited anyone to give a welcome remarks and did a Your Woman's job and is still in the business of doing wonderfully for Abuja and Nigeria by extension. I'd like to please celebrate her one more time with a resounding applause. And just to introduce to you a very short clip that tells us the vivid story of the journey of Abuja Investment Company Limited, where they were, where they are now, and where they intend to be. Please let's watch.
Every great city has a force that builds its story. In Abuja, that force is Abuja Investment Company Limited. For over 3 decades, Abuja Investment Company Limited has stood at the heart of FCT's economic growth, driving development, nurturing innovation, and building sustainable value across sectors.
At Abuja Investment Company Limited, we see infrastructure not just as a physical structure, but as a platform for empowerment. Our goal is to ensure that every project contributes to economic inclusion, community well-being, and national pride.
Whether you're a Nigerian, whether you're a foreigner, when you want to invest in Nigeria, you look at the federal capital, which is for everyone, and that is one of our unique selling points. And also, we've been able to deliver value over the time.
Abuja Investment Company Limited is the strategic investment arm of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, focused on driving sustainable development and economic transformation across Abuja.
AICL's transformation into a group structure is a great achievement and lays the foundation for long-term sustainability. Show me a company that doesn't have documentation. I'll show you a company that is dead on arrival. So we can't overemphasize our need to have proper documentation system, which is what AICL has currently.
We are well balanced in our portfolio. That is one of the things we use to manage and mitigate risk.
From thriving markets and housing estates to groundbreaking transport systems and film villages, AICL's projects are redefining the Abuja landscape and expanding opportunities for future generations.
We've quietly facilitated markets like Karuki Market, Wuse Market, Otako Farmers Market, malls like the Buzampe Mall, estates like Ivy Apartments, public transport system. And let's not forget that we manage national civic assets like the International Conference Center and the Eagle Square.
Across Abuja, the results speak for themselves. Their flagship projects, according to a diverse portfolio, stand proud, serving the citizens of the FCT. AICL's completed projects reflect a commitment to tangible progress, transforming infrastructure into opportunity and vision into measurable impact. They are leading the way in real estate, tourism, financial services, infrastructure, and energy, leading the nation in green technology with the first all-green market in Tapo.
Having the first ever solar powered market in the FCT, or probably Nigeria, has demonstrated how we innovate.
Every initiative aligns with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the development vision of the FCT Minister, Barrister Nyesom Wike, driving jobs, housing, and infrastructure for all.
The guiding principle is simple: people first. We build infrastructure that opens doors to income, dignity, participation, and progress.
AICL belongs to every Nigerian.
We're not just looking at our stakeholders or our shareholders, basically. We are looking also at the citizens of the FCT because they matter to us.
The structure there is different from others, even the outlook.
Before I came here, I've always been skeptical about operating in a market environment, but coming here has been wonderful. It's different, it's serene, it's a place that anybody can come and shop.
When you look at some of the budgeting that we do, they are purpose-driven. It's not just budget to make profit.
Every naira we mobilize, every project we initiate is rooted in the belief that people are at the center of it and they come first.
At the core of AICL's transformation is visionary leadership, guided by strategic foresight and an unrelenting commitment to excellence. Under the Group Managing Director, Ambassador Dr. Maureen Tamama.
I can tell you with the new GM, the files always people naturally. So we've had an improved turnaround time in dealing with issues and getting results out.
One of the first things she did was to pay a visit to Wuse Market. And that was the first time any GMD has visited a market.
She is bringing more and more solutions to problems, and at the same time bringing in more technological development into Abuja Investment Company Limited.
Under the leadership of Ambassador Dr. Maureen Tamama, AICL's mission has taken new life, one rooted in innovation, inclusivity, and results that speak for themselves.
I serve with a sense of duty, not just to the present, but to the generations that will inherit what we build today.
Through its dynamic subsidiaries, AICL translates vision into action, each one contributing to a stronger, smarter, and more inclusive Abuja.
If we focus on tangible outcomes, perception and economic impact, then revitalization of our subsidiaries is greater.
AICL provided strategic directions. This actually helped APTC to grow to the level we are.
In recent times, AICL has provided that support that we need in performing our tasks.
In terms of leadership, they have always at the forefront, showing us the way and letting us know that it is going to be happening.
Our work on repositioning the Abuja Film Village and Creative Economy Hub exceeded expectations.
The project has been financed 100% by AICL to enable Abuja Film Village kickstart revenue generation, economic growth.
It's been a journey of turning potentials into performance.
AICL's story is also one of collaboration, partnering with credible developers, investors, and institutions to deliver projects that shape communities and strengthen the FCT's economic foundation.
Public-private partnerships PPPs are the backbone of our delivery model.
We have a lot of collaborations with some of the people we have identified as stakeholders.
AICL's investment in ASO is more than just financial. It positions AICL as an enabler of affordable housing, job creation, and economic development.
AICL brings a rare combination of institutional value, access to government-backed resources, and openness to innovation.
Being an arm of the FCT, they have that public sector insights that guide you to navigate you through the bureaucratic process and the regulatory frameworks in the FCT.
For us to work with Abuja Investment, it added a lot of value to our portfolio, as well as greater profitability for our company.
There's a lot of impact when you do this kind of partnership. And I would tell you one critical thing is that, number one, it creates jobs. When you patronize indigenous developers, consultants, or professionals.
No success stands alone. Through partnership with credible private sector shareholders, AICL continues to deliver high-impact projects with lasting value that transforms communities.
At AICL, we pursue PPPs as structured, transparent, and outcome-driven, ensuring that the people of Abuja always receive the long-term benefits.
The Abuja Investment Summit is AICL's flagship platform for dialogue, collaboration, and investment growth, connecting policymakers, investors, and entrepreneurs committed to driving sustainable development across the Federal Capital Territory.
It's more than an investment forum. It is a convergence point for diverse stakeholders, including diplomats, women-led enterprises, youth, men, innovators, and also diaspora investors. We are intentional about creating a platform where everyone has a seat at the table and where development is not just top-down, but also grassroots-driven.
AICL remains open to investors and strategic partners who share its commitment to innovation, transparency, and sustainable value creation.
We deeply and very deeply value our partnership with AICL. It is a model of how public sector investment can drive a sustainable development through commercial institutions.
If you are going to AICL, have a genuine commitment. You have to be transparent to work with them, and you have to develop your goals.
I would advise future partners to link up with AICL and collaborate with them, because there is a lot of benefit in collaborating with Abuja Investment. They make your work easier.
I would tell you it has been a very good experience and it's worth it.
I can say that if you're opportune to work with Abuja Investment Company Limited, you should quickly do that.
I don't want anybody to be a future partner with AICL. I want them to jump in now. Now that the train is moving and they have a woman that has the capacity to drive this, it's time to jump on the train, get things going, and benefit from this partnership. That's what I'm saying.
Simply doing things with integrity, transparency, and accountability. That's the only way it would work.
The journey doesn't end here. AICL's next phase is driven by innovation, bold, people-focused projects designed to redefine business, housing, tourism, infrastructure, and the creative economy. These and many more are the landmark projects AICL is building towards making the FCT the #1 capital city in the world.
Our goal has always been to create an enabling environment where both multinational investors and local traders can thrive side by side.
For 30 years, Abuja Investment Company Limited has built trust, progress, and prosperity. The next chapter begins now, powered by innovation, guided by purpose, and driven by the people we serve, empowering businesses, transforming communities, and shaping the future of the FCT.
All you need to know, just call for that documentary as part of your archives in your office so that you can watch it over and over again and see where you can tuck yourself in in terms of where you can engage and what kind of stakeholder you will be. I'd like to say that if you look around the room, you can see the work that Her Excellency Ambassador Tamuna has been doing in terms of building relationships. When you're working in an environment of business, one of the greatest lessons of life is that you cannot be official on a 24-hour basis. You need to work on those areas that give you the opportunity to build a Rolodex, to ensure that you are working in a way in which you can have a speed dial to people that matter to the business that you carry through. To be able to bring the FCT minister, even though he's her supervising minister, is a big deal. And for the Honorable Minister to decide that at the top of the deck of the ranking of the Honorable Minister of State is who he will send, is to tell you the measure of the work that Ambassador Tamuna has been doing. In addition to which, man about town, businessman, mogul, traveling from country to country, Mr. Tony Elumeli has made his presence felt. Dr. Tamuna has done a great job. I cannot tell you. And to bring the elder statesmen and traditional rulers of note indicates to you the kind of stakeholding relationships that she's building over the years. We're truly proud of you and the work that you have been doing. We appreciate you. It's very important for us to look at our program and see just how intentional, as she said in that clip, the Abuja Investment Company Limited has been. Because the Abuja Film Village is under her belt, she has decided, along with her team, to put the portion that has become something that's very close to the heart of His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the creative economy. The creative economy not only enjoyed Mr. President's support, he created a whole ministry and put a lady in charge of that ministry. That creative economy has constantly and continuously brought Nigeria to the fore in entertainment, in music, in film. And one of the doyens of film in Nigeria, a matriarch of the Nollywood industry, Ajoke Silva, is here with us today, and I'd like to just celebrate her presence in our midst. It's always good to see somebody who you admire doing her thing on television and on the big screen, arriving to an event and sitting quietly in the corner. Ajoke Silva is Nigeria's icon, and of course, we have a session that talks about film and that talks about the creative industry and talks about how film and creativity is an important economic asset. But if you look at your program, you will also see that we have a session on women, and why not? Women hold half of the sky, and the United Nations SDG 5 is achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls. And because she understands the power that women bring to the table in negotiation, in the creative industry, in keeping everybody together as a family unit, she has decided that she would have at stage 4 women in leadership, women in business. And so, having given you just a tip of the iceberg of what to expect from this Abuja Business and Investment Expo 2025, we also have a session for youth and how they're breaking new grounds and doing new things to ensure that they're disruptive. They don't do things the way we do. And I'm considering that maybe I might have a mobile restaurant since I like to cook. And so I'll be consulting with Abuja Investment about how I can start a restaurant. That would be a good thing to do, wouldn't you think? That I'm not just doing broadcasting, you know. I'm not just doing this work that I do, but I'm also cooking for the community, which would be a great thing to do. It's time now for us to invite a man who has singing as part of his gift, my co-director of ceremony, Mr. Andy Gabriel.
Thank you very much. I'm also doing something by the side. I've been looking for an opportunity to see the keynote speaker. Thank God Your Excellency Ambassador Maureen Tamina, through your invitation, I'm meeting him one-on-one again. And I'd like to invest into my business. I do cooking from home and I deliver to people. I could try a plate of your favorite dish for you today before you leave this hall, and they will deliver right to your doorstep. So please, I'm also going to approach Ambassador Tamina to be able to do that same for me so that I can improve on my business. I'd like to thank you especially for the work you're doing for Africa and the world especially, that you've grown so many young men and women that have become entrepreneurs of note, doing great things in their various countries. I think Tony and the Malusi CFR deserves yet another round of applause. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. I'd like to run through these quick recognitions for brevity of time. I'll be very brief with this. I'd like to recognize the Managing Director of Julius Berger, represented here by the Regional Manager of Julius Berger, Engineer Oliver Berger. Please a warm round of applause for him. We also recognize the Managing Director and CEO of Asa Savings and Loans PLC, Haji Risikatu Ahmed. Thank you very much for coming. I recognize and welcome the Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources, Senator Heineken Lokobri, represented here by his very lovely wife. We'd like to welcome Mrs. Susan Lokobri. Please a warm round of applause for her, please. Ojin Porcherella, the diva, who welcome you. I'd also like to recognize and welcome Malam Abakar Ibrahim, the Executive Director, Administration and Finance, Sokoto Rima River Basin Development Authority. Thank you for joining us, sir. We also appreciate the presence of the Botswanan High Commissioner to Nigeria, Your Excellency Filda Nani Keren. Please a warm round of applause for her. Thank you very much for joining us. Without much ado, we'll be moving on with the goodwill messages at this juncture. And to place the trail with the goodwill messages, and I've been asked to just allot 3 minutes, and would like to encourage you to skip protocols as much as possible. I'd like you to blaze a trail, and to do this for us will be the Acting Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Abuja Enterprise Agency, Dr. Chudi Mugwada Ezirigwe. Please can we welcome him with a resounding applause, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Minister of State, FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmoud, who is here representing the Honorable Minister, FCT, His Excellency, Right Honorable Ezenwoye Sobike, CON. The Group Managing Director, Abuja Investment Limited, and indeed, members of the National Assembly here present, permanent secretaries, mandate secretaries of the FCT administration, of course our royal fathers, most especially our very revered keynote speaker, Tony Elumelu, CFR, who is here present with us, and indeed, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, this is simply epoch-making, because one would say that with the arrival of the group GMB Abuja Investments Limited, the investment climate of the FCT have since taken a new turn. Sometime last year when this particular business and investment expo was held, it was the inaugural one. It was never done before, but I believe that the nature of persons that we're seeing in this hall today reflects what had happened in the past with the inaugural edition. And as you will agree with me also, Abuja as a model city is obviously wearing a new look, signaling that it is ready to receive the myriad of persons across the globe who are interested in making Abuja a city of choice when it comes to investment. And here we have one of the leading lights in terms of investments and businesses in Africa sitting right here with us. He's going to be speaking with us very shortly, and I believe I will be tapping into his world of experience, and not to forget that across Africa, the gentleman has made his mark, empowering young innovators, young creative minds realize their dreams. And this is exactly what the group GMB Abuja Investment is also doing here, taking a cue from our keynote speaker in the business of empowering young, innovative minds. As she had made known to us here in her welcome address, at the Abuja Enterprise Agency, we collaborated with the Abuja Investment to tap into the talents that are in abundance, especially with respect to our youths. A lot of them are here, and we'll be interacting with them as this forum goes on. This expo is for 3 days. I'm sure that this is an opportunity for those who have not had the experience of the new things that are happening in the FCT to actually see things for themselves and tap into the myriad of opportunities in tourism, in real estate, and what have you. In ICT, all these things are available here in the FCT. The place is welcoming, the city is smiling, it's turning green again, and to the glory of God and to the benefit of mankind, trust me, bring your money to Abuja Enterprise Agency, and trust me, all your resources will be safe and get you smiling to the banks at all times. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't intend to bore you with a long speech, but just to say that Abuja is the place for you to trust your investments with. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and God bless all of us. Thank you.
I can't agree with you any less. Abuja is investors' haven. Please put your hands together for him one more time. Just as we move on, I'd like to recognize the presence of the Executive Governor of Abia State, His Excellency Dr. Alex Oti. He'll be represented here by his Special Advisor on Investment Promotion, PPP, and also doubles as the Chairman, Abia Investment Summit. I'd like to recognize the presence of High Chief J.N. Green Amakwe. Please can we welcome him with a round of applause, standing in for the Executive Governor. Thank you for joining us. Shehu Sagagi is the Honorable Commissioner, Commerce, Industry and Cooperative, and he's here representing the Executive Governor of Kano State, His Excellency Abba Kabir Yusuf. We welcome him in his stead. Please, one round of applause for him. A very next goodwill message, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, will be coming from Her Excellency Fielder Nani Kiren, the Botswanan High Commissioner to Nigeria. Please let's welcome her with a round of applause.
You've been watching an Arise News live coverage. We're now returning to normal programming.
Welcome back to the Global Business Report here on Arise News. I'm going to round off the show here with stocks, particularly the NGX. As of yesterday, it's in the 40s. The NGX was up about 1.01%, but 101 basis points in closing yesterday. There we go, 47.15% year to date. 151.46.49 is where the all share index closed, and it just keeps on climbing. Now, one stock that's been doing well on the NGX is Transcorp Hotels. Transcorp Hotels is up about 41.9%. The hospitality subsidiary of the Transcorp conglomerate released its Q3 earnings, and there they are, double-digit growth for revenue, 49%, 72 billion. Gross profit up by 60%, and profit before tax, profit after tax, 36 and 45% respectively. We spoke with Oyindamola Oyenuga, who is a senior analyst and lead of alternative assets at Meristem Securities, to talk about the performance of Transcorp Hotels.
How they perform in third quarter is just like how it has always been for Transcorp. The performance increases like as the quarters go by. Yeah. And the major revenue segment was the room. That has always been the room segment, room, and then food and beverages. And now we have the new segment on board, which is the event center. And we saw how that really contributed to their performance this period. That's for Transcorp. And I think for speaking to the entire sector, or let's say industry so far, hotels are quite profitable. Yeah. Some of them, and the most part of them, and it's the ones that have international presence. There's still a lot of demand for room services, even recreational services, and even event centers. All of these activities, the demand for it is still very much high in Nigeria, and adding that to even higher costs, the nominal rate on their room services, it always increases. On the increase for, I think it's 2013, even way before that. So that's some of the things that really contributed to performance for this segment and for this for hotels generally. So performance was good, looking at Transcorp, and I mean you can't proxy that to the entire industry, but the performance so far really basically has been good.
So I guess if someone wants to start a hotel tomorrow, I know it takes pretty capital intensive. It's a lot, right? So it's important that you have multiple revenue streams, basically.
Exactly.
Now, as far as the costs highlights, right? I noticed that I think food and beverage was the highest. So yeah, rooms the cost went up 20% for rooms, 6 billion. Yeah. Food and beverage was more than rooms, 23% growth, 10.9 billion. What do you make of that?
I mean, looking at the number, I think it's quite expected, especially because we have been, we're coming from a severely intensive, inflationary environment. Yes, I mean, inflation is tapering and all that, but we know that prices are really sticky downwards. And also for a company like Transcorp that has international presence, for a couple of them, they import a lot of, all of these materials, cooking equipment, different furniture and all of these things. So the high cost of this still in, the global scene, having to import some of these materials into the market, contributes to their cost. And also because hotels generally, looking at a company like Transcorp, it's a premium, they offer premium quality service. So eventually how they make their money is to, so that's on the revenue side. But on the cost side, I mean, they have to import a lot of their materials, and the prices of things are even still expensive. Yes, we're seeing a tapering in inflation, but prices are still high, and some of these companies, they still have to bear the cost, even considering FX. Yes, we've seen some stability in FX, but then, I mean, exchange rate is still quite it's a significant pressure for them, not just Transcorp, even for other players in the industry. So I believe that these some of the things that have contributed to the increase in cost.
So, I mean, in fact, funny enough, while the Afro-Exim Bank was holding their last annual meetings in Abuja, it was at the Transcorp Center. I was walking behind, I just happened to see some food trucks coming in to deliver, and it was massive. I mean, it was every food you can imagine. It's like running, I always say it's like running a local government area, depending on the size of your hotel. So I guess, okay, you mentioned exchange rates. So what is the impact of that for hotels? It's on the import side, right, with all the items you have to bring in.
Yes, there's that, but also I think it's more of a network basis. Looking at Transcorp, case in point, their revenue is in dollars and then exchanged in, translated to naira and all of that. For them, FX costs, yes, they have to import some of these raw materials, but on the other side, they kind of balance that, divide from the aspect of the fact that the revenue is priced in dollars or it's in dollars, and then they have to translate and all of that. So over time, looking at maybe the past 6 years, 7 years for transport results, they've been making significant FX gains. And with the movement in the naira, in the exchange rate, that has kind of benefited them, to be honest. But in most recent numbers, these 9M numbers, because of seeing some stability in the foreign exchange rate, in the currency, that has we saw them incur a bit of FX loss during the period. But I would say that it kind of balances out for them. On one side, they benefit from revenue being priced in dollars, and then them also having to incur costs. But I think the benefits outweigh the cost for them having to incur or recognize FX gains